final. We got the Dusty Classic final. We got women's tag titles on the line. We've got the NXT Championship on the line. There's a lot that's happening tonight. It's a busy show. And obviously the wrestling world is a buzz, I tell you, about the news regarding Cody Rhodes. We can obviously get stuck into that. And there's a lot for us to talk about, get excited about. And it's going to be a big stream. This feels like a big stream because it's really rare for us to have not only a monster show like what we've got, but also completely separate monster piece of news, which in many ways kind of changed the landscape of wrestling. Like, I really feel that way. Like, a lot of times you hear news that isn't that big, but it's made to seem big. I've said this on a few streams, like, sometimes you hear some news and you just think to yourself, like, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I get where people are coming from, but I don't think it's, like, all that. Like, I'll use the Stone Cold news as an example. The Stone Cold news to me was good, great, exciting. I don't think it's all that. I don't think it's all that because, and I said this on the football podcast stream that I did earlier. So the Stone Cold thing is going to be like, it's going to be a 2-minute match. It's going to be like Cena and Undertaker. Stone Cold, the last I heard, it still wasn't 100% that he had agreed. So, you're talking about someone that's been out the ring since WrestleMania 19, who's apparently got a couple of months, if that, not even that, to get ready for a match. So it's going to be kept short. It's going to be a few strikes, punches, a stunner. It's basically going to be a bit like a run-in, but rather than him running down to the ring and doing it, or being at ringside and jumping in and doing it, they're going to make it an official match. So he'll come down in his gear. There'll be a few punches, kicks. There'll be a stunner. Couple of minutes. Stone Cold gets the win. Big WrestleMania moment. Blah, 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 blah. Right? I expected a lot of that anyway because it's in Texas. And for me, like Stone Cold, I thought he would probably be guest host. I expected him to be there. Someone's going to get stunned, aren't they? Someone was getting stunned at WrestleMania. So I kind of think that there wasn't really much there. I'm excited by the idea. I'm excited that what we would hope to see is sort of being confirmed. It'll be great to hear the music. It'll be great to see him in wrestling gear. The build is going to be fantastic. So all of that is definitely additional. But I don't know. I don't know if it was like as big as what everyone was like saying. Today's news. What? Cody leaving AEW and potentially going to WWE. People have asked about, like, what are the chances of that? And I've always given it, like, 5%. Like, this is unexpected, absolutely massive. Dropped whilst I was asleep. There was a few people saying, like, oh, you're going to do a video, you're going to do a video. If I'd have been awake when the news broke, then, yes, we would have done something. But to be honest, I was asleep when I woke up. It had already been out for about an hour. So, kind of felt like, people had got their thoughts out there already. There's people asking, is it a work? I don't think it's a work. It could be a work, but I don't think it's a work. There's been lots of rumors that Cody has had, like, falling out backstage. And I just got told on the Wrestling Escape Pods by Tommy, he thinks that he read somewhere that Cody stopped being an executive vice president, which is the stumbling block, to be honest. That I don't get that bit. Like, if you're an executive vice president, you don't just up and leave. Like, it's more complicated than that. Like, an executive vice president doesn't really have, like, a contract in that sense. Yes, you'd have a contract for being a talent, but you're part of the board. Like, you are really one of the higher-ups, and getting rid of an executive vice president is really big news. That's, like, structural change. It's not just the talent that comes and goes. It's like really integral management changes as well. So it's always felt to me like Cody is not only in AEW, but cemented in AEW. Not only is he a wrestler there, but it's kind of partially his baby. So why would he leave it? Why would he leave something that he helped create and then go to the enemy? I mean, none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. That if this happens, it is one of the most shocking things to happen in recent years. I would say this is the most shocking thing since Bray was released. I think Bray being released for me is the last big, giant, shocking, oh my God news. This is the next one. This is the next one. Didn't see it coming. Hadn't heard any rumors of it coming. I know it took everyone by surprise as well. Would have given it about a 5% chance of happening. What this says to me is how rotted it must be backstage at AEW, how toxic it must be backstage at AEW. I think what this gives us a glimpse at is that because clearly there's been big falling outs. Clearly there's a lot of superstars that don't share Cody's vision. I think there must have been a lot of frustration. I mean, think about that. They've started a company together and Cody has ended up leaving. This isn't just a talent. This isn't just a wrestler. This isn't just like Moxley or whatever that, could just go and do whatever they want. This is someone that's been in there from the start, that had the vision, that set the company up, that was part of All In and, All Out, or whichever the first one was. Like, wasn't it Cody's tweet that really set this going as well? Because if you remember, AEW, someone sent a message to Dave Meltzer saying, could Ring of Honor sell out a 10,000 seat venue? And Dave was like, not anytime soon. And Cody responded, I'll take that bet. It was Cody that responded to those messages and said, I'll take that bet, Dave. From that went All In, All Out. I can't remember what it was, what the first one was. But that's how we got that show. They put it on with the Bucks. He put it on with Kenny. They brought over, amazing talent. And it did the numbers. It sold the seats. It did the numbers. Tony Khan was at that show. And from that show became AEW. That's where the conversations happened. Tony Khan, a big fan of wrestling, had money, wanted to start a new promotion, saw there was a group of wrestlers that, they could help build a new promotion around. I mean, Cody is so integral to the formation of AEW and, where we are. The fact that he is now willing to walk away says a lot about behind the scenes at AEW. I think there's a lot of stuff that gets spoken about online. And with Twitter, you can only say so much. But for me, this story is monster. It's monster because not only is it Cody leaving as a wrestler, which is honestly the lowest thing that I'm focused on. Him being a wrestler and going to WWE and having matches in WWE is so minute compared to what I think is the bigger news, which is Cody, who helped start AEW, leaving AEW. Even if he doesn't go to WWE, even if he doesn't go there, just the fact he's leaving is massive. It's massive. It's monster news. Because why would he go if everything's going great? Because they ain't got anywhere yet. Like, they've managed to survive for a few years, and they've managed to get some good ratings and maintain them, but they've never beaten Raw in the ratings. They're nowhere near SmackDown. The video game's not out. They've managed to get agreements with figure companies and whatever. They are firmly established as number 2, but it's not as if job done. I mean, it's not that at all, is it? It's not job done. So there's so much more for them to achieve, and there's so much more for him to do and be a part of. Why is he walking away now? Why now? It can only be that they don't share the same vision. There's a lot of frustrations. And honestly, the cherry on top would be to go to the competitor. Do you know what I mean? The biggest FU that he could give would be to walk out of AEW and go to WWE, a company that he's spent I don't know how long laying into in various little promos, little digs, I mean, it feels like Cody in most of his promos has a little dig at WWE. We've seen him with a sledgehammer. We've seen him breaking a throne. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's been little visual things, but then little things put in promos as well. So it could be that it's only Cody that was on the outside. It could be that the Bucks and Omega and Tony all agree on stuff, and it's just Cody that's kind of out on his own and whatever. I don't think there's any dispute in that AEW is not the vision that everyone expected it to be. I mean, we were told this was going to be sports-orientated, sports-focused, and you only have to look at some of the segments to see that it is another brand of sports entertainment. Yes, they focus a bit more on match quality, and they really want to have good matches, so I do agree with that, but I can understand why this is not quite in line with what Cody was expecting. Yeah, I can see that there's probably been a bit of friction. But the vice president thing was the stumbling block. If anyone ever asked me, will Cody go? I would always be like, nah, he's executive vice president. He's executive vice president. Even if he's not wrestling, he's still on the board. And I still can't get my head around that. And I can't wait for there to be a podcast on this. Because for me, I don't care if he goes to WWE. I don't care about matches that he can have. I don't care what his gimmick's going to be. I don't care, right? I don't care, right? I'm not interested in that. I want to know what's happening behind the scenes at AEW. I want to know why he's left. I want to know why he's been seemingly driven out or forced out or feels like he needs to go. Because it doesn't make any sense. He's walking away from a company he has helped start. And when's he going to get that opportunity again? When is he ever going to find a billionaire that's going to back his vision or, and actually, give him the platform he was on? When is he ever going to get that again? I'd have to argue never. I'd have to argue never because it's been so few and far between in wrestling that billionaires come in and start their own wrestling companies. So it's been so few and far between, you'd have to say it will never happen for Cody again. And even if it did by chance, like someone now has got to try and compete with not only WWE, they've now got to compete with AEW. So if he's going, it's got to be for a big reason. I mean, he's got the freedom to go and work with other companies, but he is choosing to walk away. Elliot says, Meltzer says AEW couldn't meet demands as the budget is full. You could imagine the OG members of AEW would be annoyed at new guys being on bigger money. I can definitely appreciate that new guys coming in and earning more, like a CM Punk or whatever, earning more than Cody would be frustrating. But equally, he must have been a part of the negotiations. He must have been consulted. If he was in that executive vice president role, then you would think that they all would have signed off on it. Like, you would think they would all be aware and all on the same page. I mean, look, we've heard for a while there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes there. That for a while there's been a lot of talk about how there's a lot of arguing. There's a lot of talent that think Cody is just trying to put himself over, that don't agree with Cody's approach. So it's more than money. 100% it's more than money. 100% it's more than money. I've never doubted that there was problems backstage, but I've never thought that they were at a point where he would leave. I never thought they were at a point he was leave. But it could be, as you're saying, a real mixture of lots of different things. It could be that, it's a case of the money, a case of not being listened to, a case of, as we said, lots of different factors. But it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Gilly said this is more than just money. But I agree. There's no knock of Elliot. Elliot's absolutely right in saying that money will be a factor. I believe it could be a factor. I totally believe. But I think there is an amount. I think the money may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. But there was so much that was going on anyway. Go said, Days, that was the best WEP episode I've ever seen. From biting numbs to the closing song, I never laughed so hard. Epic show, thank you. I'm really pleased you enjoyed it, dude. I gotta tell you, I actually thought that was a really disjointed episode of the Wrestling Escape Pod. I think it's because I was like, in my mind, I thought, right, we'll start with the Elimination Chamber. Then what we'll do is we'll go to the clips. Then I want to do a preview for Vengeance Day. Like, I had an idea that I wanted to hit that, and that. And then, of course, we would talk about what Tommy had been up to and all this kind of stuff. And just from the very first moment that we pressed start on the Wrestling Escape Pods, there was drama. From the very first moment, I hadn't had enough time because obviously we're doing football, there's so much we're doing at the moment. I hadn't had enough time to send Tommy the clips. I have to send Tommy the clips because he can't hear them, right? He can't hear them when I play them. So we've done that in the past where he won't hear what you lot are saying in the clips. So I have to send them to him separately so that he can just play them on his computer. I hadn't done that. So they were sending right at the start of the show. So I was starting the web, talking away, and all I could see was the red light flashing, that there was lag. And I was like, oh my God. And it was taking so long. So that ruined the start. And then when we finally got going, Tommy was just insistent of talking about like Beyond Wrestling, nuns. It felt to me like it was just going off the tracks all over the place. But if it did come across well and you lot got something from it, I mean, I thought it was fun, and that song at the end is amazing. It's amazing. I mean, if hopefully we can play the full episode, the full clip of that next week on the web. So if you haven't watched the Wrestling Escape Pod, I keep saying it, it's the hour before we start here, which is why we're always a few minutes late. But we've got community members that send in clips. We've got Tommy sharing wild stories, me desperately trying to keep things on track. It's a pretty crazy hour. So yeah, Going Ghost, I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Vape Ross Vape said Cody was always the Pete Best of the EVPs. We all know Cody will go to WWE so that he can face Austin at WrestleMania, and then Brian will interject himself. Yes. Harley, shout out to you, bud. Hope you're well. Did you see Bray throwing shade at Roman on Twitter? I did, but I didn't really get it, to be honest. I didn't really understand as to why he'd done that. So someone sent a list out of people that Roman has beaten, and Bray was on there. And Bray responded, "Get my name off that list. Get my name off that list." I don't know. I don't know where that frustration has come from. I don't know if it's frustration at Roman or if it's a case that Bray doesn't feel that because he took the pin, he doesn't feel that he lost that match. I mean, it was a triple threat, wasn't it? And it was Strowman that got pinned. So Bray was in the match and he didn't win the match. I mean, you can argue as to whether he lost the match. He certainly wasn't the winner. So some people do count him as one of Roman's victims. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a problem he's got with Roman or if it's a problem he had with being on that list because he doesn't feel that he lost it. I don't know. It was a bit weird, to be honest. Perhaps it was just like caught him on a bit of an off time or something. I really don't know. I really don't know. I thought it was a bit of a weird one. LSW said, I can't wait for this story to be retold firsthand. The podcast. Listen, I said this I don't know when, one of the shows I just did. I said, I don't care what match he has. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, imagine it's him against Seth, him against Triple H, him against Roman, him against AJ, him against, right, whatever. I don't care. I do not give a flip. Yeah, I do not give a flip. Would you want to see him at WrestleMania? I don't care. Do you want to see him at SummerSlam? I don't care. Do you want to see him at Survivor? I don't care. Do you want to see him in the... I don't care. Get him on Broken Skull Sessions now. Now. That's what I care about. Get him on Broken Skull Sessions. I want to know what's happening behind the scenes at AEW. I want to know, what does Tony Khan really think about Vince and WWE? How much of a threat does Tony Khan think that WWE are? How realistic does Tony Khan think AEW can be as a threat to WWE? I want to know what kind of tricks and tactics were AEW doing, and what kind of things did they have planned. I want to know How did he feel about the Stardust character? I want to know as to like how frustrated he was. I know he spoke about those things before, but what's going to be different now that he's back? How is his last run going to compare to this run? What does he want to achieve now? What has he spoken to Vince about? I want to know, I want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want to know about his time in New Japan. I want to know about people that let him down in AEW. I want to know everything. I want to know, how do they feel when they were beat in NXT? How do they feel about like CM Punk coming in and the ratings maybe not being where they would maybe like them to be? They're doing just around about 1 million or so, which is fine. But like, what does Tony Khan think about that? Like, I want all this inside juice. That excites me way more than 1 million Cody Rhodes matches. Get him signed, get him on Broken Skull, and grill the hell out of him. I want answers. You could make it very uncomfortable for Tony Khan. You could make it very uncomfortable. This could be very uncomfortable for Tony Khan. Ugh. Get him in there now. Get him in. I'll drive him. Get him in there. Although, I do have to stress, I can't think of anything worse than Brandi Rhodes being in WWE. Just when I thought WWE maybe couldn't get any lower, the potential of Brandi Rhodes returning makes me want to throw up. So, it swings and roundabouts, guys. Swings and roundabouts. Maybe in his contract he could promise to never bring her onto TV. Maybe that could be the deal. I don't know. We'll have to see how negotiations go. Sean Ross Sapp has posted a picture of a new WWE ring apron. Wow, that's the biggest news today. A new WWE ring apron, guys. We've got to stop this conversation about Cody, AEW. We need to get over to the new ring apron. What the hell is that? Oh, it's for the new show. So, yeah, 205 Live has been cancelled. Now we've got NXT Level Up. NXT Level Up in its place. I'm guessing this is maybe for talent that's not quite ready for NXT. So this is, I'm guessing, the NXT for NXT. So there we go. That is Level Up. Level Up ring apron right there. So, it looks all right, doesn't it? I don't know. It looks like a flipping drink or something. I mean... There's nothing there about NXT. There's no NXT logo or anything, is there? There's no WWE logo. It's weird. Looks like a legal high. It's the kind of thing you'd find at a festival to get smacked off your face. Hey, have you tried any Level Up? No, what is it? Well, it is banned in like 48 states, but it's so good. Wrestling with Andy said, do you think Goldust will come back for the Hall of Fame? I suppose it makes his position a little bit more questionable, because obviously he will have had, I think that he is a professional. I think that he believes in AEW. I think he'll want AEW to succeed. He's going to be, family first, and I think it would definitely open it up to Goldust coming back to, WWE. I think that he would be, I don't think they would do much with him now at this stage, though. He'd be a nice surprise for a Rumble. I think also Cody's got some great relationships with people. Who can they get now? Who can Cody have a word with? I mean, people are going to be under contract. Tony, if I'm Tony, I'm thinking I'm hoping that Cody isn't going to go and expose a load of stuff I don't want him to expose. Not that I think there's anything really bad happening, but Cody can talk about the inner workings of AEW. He can talk, he can spill the beans on every aspect of that company. He can spill the beans on private conversations he's had with Tony. He can spill the beans on anything and everything. Strategies. What were just behind the scenes numbers? Behind the scenes numbers for Arthur Ashe and how that show went. He knows not only, he knows contracts, he knows everything. It's like getting a black box recorder from an aeroplane. That's what Cody Rhodes is. That's why this is absolutely huge and bigger than just, do you know what I mean? Way bigger than just, who's Cody going to face? Way bigger. Think of all the info. He knows everything. He's like a skeleton key to AEW. He helped set the thing up. He knows how much everyone is earning. He knows how long people's contracts are running for. He knows the talent that Tony is really high on. He knows people that Tony are looking at. He knows so flipping much. He knows so much that, you know, if Vince could get a hold of Cody, that would be big, really big. Just for the information alone. Just for the information alone. Just sit down, spend a day with him in the office, and just drain him of all the information that he can. I could see Cody being used in a kind of a Seth Rollins position. I don't see Cody being the top guy, but I could see him being one of the top guys. But he ain't going to replace Roman. I can't see Cody replacing Roman. He might be the person that beats Roman. We've got a new person to beat Roman. Absolutely, it could be that person. But, oh God, it's massive and it's absolutely huge. Do you think Cody jumping will open the door for others to make the jump? I think that it definitely does, yes, because once their contracts are up, they now have someone in WWE they know and trust. You know, you think about MJF. MJF didn't really know anyone, to my knowledge. He might have worked with a few people on the indie scene, but certainly nothing on the scale of Cody. So all of a sudden now, Cody is a direct line to MJF. And Cody is someone that can get in touch with MJF. He can have a word with Vince. He can put in a good word. He can help facilitate MJF coming over. Like, I'm not saying it's a done deal. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm saying that does it increase the likelihood of it happening? Yes, it does. It does increase the likelihood of it happening. This is, I know I keep saying it, but this is unexpected, and it is the biggest wrestling news since, I mean, it completely, can you see now, I know many of you did anyway, but can you see now how this just blows the Stone Cold thing out of water? Just completely blows it out the water, because we're talking about, like, you know, them. Yes, Stone Cold is going to help sell WrestleMania tickets, going to help sell WrestleMania. It's a moment for WrestleMania. It's going to be exciting, lovely, but I expected him to do something anyway. This, completely unexpected, completely opens the door wide open. Not the forbidden door where people are going to now work together. It won't do that, but it opens the door whereby now Cody can reach in and grab some talent from AEW. It's also a bit of a black eye to Tony Khan. It's definitely a bit of a black eye to Tony Khan, because he's losing one of his big stars. He's losing someone that knows all that vital information. He's now someone that can attract some of his top talent. Like, it kind of feels like the war just got dirty. That's how it feels to me. It's like a flipping nuclear bomb going off. I mean, if you saw it and you were shocked and you was like excited for what it could mean, I mean, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But again, I don't view this as like really exciting, because now we're going to get Cody versus Seth. It's all that other stuff, man. Oh, so crazy. So crazy. Stone Cold news wasn't big, says Shola. If he goes back to WWE, he is only going back with the guarantee to keep his music. Keep his music. Hang on, I'm trying to read this, but it's going so fast. Of keeping his music, getting pushed as a top star with main event Mania, and having a world title run and full creative control. I don't know that that's true, to be honest. I mean, like, I understand where you're coming from, but I mean, what ball is in his court? What ball is in Cody's court? If you think about it, he has decided to turn his back on AEW because it's so toxic, I presume, right? So what does he do now? I mean, he ain't going to go and work for Impact. How much are they going to pay him? I don't think he's just had a kid that he wants to move his family to Japan. I don't think that a star of his stature is going to be loving going back to the Indies and work in a room of a couple of hundred people. So what options does he have? I mean, like, I really don't know. If I'm WWE, I'm going to look after him. I'm going to look after him. I want him. I want the information in his head. He's a big name. It's going to get, people excited. But I ain't going to give him the world. I'm not going to give him the world. I'm not, I ain't giving him full creative control. Forget that. No way. No flipping way. No way. That is the undoing of WCW. Like, WCW gave Hogan, like, full creative control and Nash and all this kind of stuff. It completely ruined WCW. That's not something. Vince doesn't need Cody. I mean, the truth is he doesn't need him. If he can get him, brilliant. It's a great get. And as we said, that information is, beautiful. But I wouldn't be breaking the bank. I wouldn't be breaking the bank to be bringing Cody Rhodes in. I would be giving him a fair offer, a good offer. I'd be saying, you're not going to be Stardust. You can have a title run. We'll make sure you get a big WrestleMania match. We're going to look after you. Like, we see you as someone that can really do some stuff for us. But no, you can have whatever music you want. Come out to Old Lang Syne if you want. But, you ain't getting full creative control. You ain't getting full creative control. And you ain't going to be Roman Reigns. As long as we can agree on these things, then welcome. Come on board. Days, you're overhyping Cody. I don't think I am. I really don't. What am I hyping? I'm not saying he's a great wrestler, am I? I've said nothing about his wrestling. What have I said about his wrestling? I haven't said he's going to be a champion for the next 20 years. Like, how am I overhyping Cody? Factually, he was an executive vice president. Factually, he's going to have access to information that a lot of other people in AEW would not have access to. What am I hyping? All I'm saying is that he is very, very valuable because he can give Vince inside information that Vince would not get from many other places. There was Tony Khan, there was the Bucks, there was Omega, there was Cody. I'm sure Hangman was aware of stuff as well, even though I don't think Hangman was an executive vice president. And I'm sure Jericho was aware of stuff, but he wasn't an executive vice president. That's it. And did you expect Vince to be able to get any of them anytime soon? Because I didn't. I didn't expect him to get any of those. I mean, look, his matches are decent. He can have a decent match. His promos are, that he can promo. It's just that he tends to go down some wrong paths sometimes. But from a wrestling point of view, I genuinely believe that there's no reason as to why he can't be an equal to Seth Rollins. I mean, like, size-wise, they're about the same. Promo-wise, they're probably about the same, as long as Cody's not allowed to say whatever he wants. Which in WWE, I'm sure he'll be given more freedom than others, but, some of his promos have been own goals. Some of his promos have actually been detrimental to storylines rather than building them up. Do you remember that one where apparently the US and the UK were at war? Do you remember that? That was a bit crazy. So, yeah, but his actual delivery is fine. His delivery is fine. His match quality is really good. He's got a decent look. He's not, small or anything. He's probably about the same size as Seth. I can see him being someone that would be in the title picture. I see him as an equal to Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, definitely. He's not Roman. I do keep saying that. He's not Brock. He's not Roman. But I'm way more excited about him going on Broken Skull. Why does no one listen to what Cody said? He told us his storyline was going to get crazy, and now it has. People just disregards that he said it. What? You think this is storyline? I mean, there's potential for it to be a work, but there's also reports that he is in talks with WWE. So, if this is storyline, he is pushing it to the point where it's now he's in talks with WWE. I mean, this is, WrestleVotes have sent a message out. They've got connections with WWE, and WrestleVotes are saying that there's a belief in WWE that Cody will be signing. So this isn't a storyline because it's gone further than being a storyline. If it was, 7 hours ago, spoke to a source just now that fully anticipates WWE coming to an agreement with Cody Rhodes. That was 7 hours ago. Over 8,000 likes. So, yeah, I mean, to me, could this be Tony Khan and Cody working together to create a storyline that's going to get everyone talking, and then also use it as a vehicle to find out how much Vince would offer Cody. Maybe, right? I'm not going to rule that out. I'm going to give it a 1% chance, right? It's a real outside shot, because that would be a lot of work for not much return, really. I think like they get everyone talking, but this doesn't look good for Tony right now. I don't think this paints Tony in a good light at all. Like this right now makes Tony Khan look like, you know, there's not much harmony backstage. It makes it look like there's been big falling outs, and I don't think this makes like AEW look that great. I mean, look, it's not going to be the biggest problem in the world, because WWE do loads that doesn't make WWE look great. But I don't think this this isn't like positive PR. Is it? This isn't something that I think Tony would manufacture and want out there as a story. I know they say all news is, or even bad news is worth it, because, you know, it's exposure and whatnot. And it definitely has, you know, got people talking. But I don't know, man. This is just doesn't strike me that way at all. It doesn't strike me as being a work. It doesn't strike me as being like, what would be the end goal? What would be the end goal? Like, all of a sudden now Cody isn't leaving and he comes back. I mean, I think that would just result in a few eyes rolling. I don't think there would be a big payoff. You know, if this is a work and Cody goes back to AEW, like, there would just be a few people rolling their eyes going, well, that was a waste of time. I don't know what it achieves. I think he's gone. I really do. I'm going to put my flag in the ground and say I don't think this is a work. I don't think this is a work. I think that this is real. I think he is left, and I think that he's in talks with WWE. If Cody signs, do you believe he appears before WrestleMania, or will he be saved for the Raw after? Don't know, but to be honest, I mean, if he won't have, to my knowledge, there's no contract. His contract expired, so I don't think there's any like 30-day, 90-day, whatever clauses. So he can go and do whatever. I mean, he would surely be involved around WrestleMania. I don't think it's something that you necessarily need to rush. I mean, Cody can... you can always find him an opponent, or you could debut him at WrestleMania. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could bring him in before and then build a match. I don't know. It would feel like Triple H would be the opponent, really. It would need to be like Triple H or someone along those lines. I'm trying to think. There's not really anyone big enough. Finn Balor, maybe, but... because Finn Balor was the champion whilst they were going up against AEW for a bit. So, like, could you do Finn Balor? But that doesn't feel big enough. Balor just doesn't feel big enough. It feels like it should be Triple H, but... Triple H against Cody, but, I mean, Triple H is in no shape to do that match. But Triple H against Cody is the match to make. But you just can't do it. And you couldn't do Shawn either. I mean, Shawn didn't look great in Saudi. I don't know if the right opponent is there. Obviously, I feel like you'd have to address like NXT. I think you'd have to do like something against NXT. NXT would need to be involved, I feel, but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Daniel said, the one thing I have to say about Cody is you genuinely think Vince will book a guy who literally made a rival competitor to him in Cody. I don't see Cody's booking being good. Oh, like, will Vince put him over? I don't know, to be honest, but because, like, he could have buried Hogan, and he didn't. You know, he didn't bury Hogan when Hogan came back after being with WCW. Granted, he did bury quite a few that were in WCW that then jumped over and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know which way he would go. Look at Goldberg. Goldberg's been used quite well, and Goldberg was a WCW guy. I mean, Sting, when Sting finally arrived, he did lose to Triple H, but there was a reason for that. Triple H was meant to go on to face The Rock the very next year, so they didn't want Triple H looking weak because there was meant to be at WrestleMania 32. The main event was meant to be Triple H against The Rock. So the plan was Triple H beats Sting. He then goes into the ring. We then get that Rock Triple H moment, which we saw at WrestleMania 31 with Ronda when she comes into the ring with Steph and everything. And that's meant to then build to a match between them at WrestleMania 32. That match, because of scheduling, never happened. If WrestleMania 32 we knew wasn't going to be Triple H against The Rock, I think there's every chance Sting would have won. So I don't know. It's difficult. He is petty. He will try and put over and let everyone know that WWE is the superior brand. But equally, there's money. There's money to be made with Cody. Cody is still relatively young. He's in decent shape. They can have him going up and they can present him as like the outsider in a way as well. Like it's very exciting. It's very exciting. What is your favorite promotion right now? I don't know that I have one, to be honest. It's not AEW. AEW has got a few things in it that I like, but it's had a little run, in all fairness, since Daniel Bryan came in. It's better than it was, but I can't say that I've enjoyed it more than like NXT or SmackDown in the past. But I would say that it's maybe it is the best one right now. But there's loads in it that doesn't really appeal when it comes to AEW. It's AEW I tend to watch because there's things in there that I do enjoy, but there's a lot of rubbish you have to tolerate. I'm not a diehard AEW fan at all. But I do like Bryan Danielson. I do like Serena Deeb. I did like them booing Cody. I enjoyed... that was a story I was enjoying, actually, watching how they were going to present Cody. So that's going to be something I'm going to miss. I do like Sammy. I do like Darby. I think MJF's a good heel. CM Punk's been great coming back. That might be about it. But that is enough to, like, you know, get something from Dynamite. It's enough to make Dynamite worth watching for me. So, yeah, I watch it. It has some good weeks. It has some bad weeks. That can be said for most wrestling shows, though. I really don't know that I have a favorite show at the moment or a favorite promotion. I kind of treat like Raw as a separate show to SmackDown, NXT as a separate show to AEW. I think just week by week, you never quite know which one's going to have the best week. Honestly, I never quite know. If I had to put money down, I would probably go AEW. If I really had to bet at what I think would be the best show, say next week, I'd probably put my money down on AEW. But right now, you don't know because we're in WrestleMania season. There's so much that's happening. I thought that Raw gave us quite a good go-home show this week, and we've got a massive NXT tonight. Absolutely monstrous NXT. So, yeah, you never quite know on a week-by-week basis. Esteban said, just because he knows info, it doesn't mean he can talk about it. I'm sure he has signed an NDA. Yeah, and I'm sure in the world of business, that'll definitely be followed. So I think it'd be a bit naive to think that conversations wouldn't be happening. NDA is something that can be signed, and if it's found out that information has been revealed, then, yeah, it could be tricky. But this is the real world. This is the real world. This is Vince McMahon. This is a closed office door where it's in Vince's interest to find out information, and there ain't any bits of paper in the world that is going to stop Cody from revealing stuff to Vince. Cody can sit there and say, I've signed an NDA, so I can't really reveal too much. And he might even show a loyalty to like AEW and Tony Khan, and he might try and, like, you know, hold out. But Vince will probe him and ask and eventually find out whatever he wants to find out. I've no doubts about that. No doubts about that whatsoever. An NDA is going to prevent you maybe from talking openly and publicly. But then I wouldn't have expected him to have gone on to Broken Skull and revealed numbers. I wouldn't have expected him to have gone on... you see, like, Jim Cornette has signed an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, which means that he can't go onto the podcast and reveal information that he's spoken about with Tony Khan. But he's definitely going to have revealed some stuff to his co-host, Brian Last. Brian ain't going to admit it, but he's definitely going to have said some stuff. And in the world of business, you know, Vince and Cody will certainly do the same. Go said, what about Cody against Ciampa? You could book it as the two stars from feuding companies. You could book Ciampa as the hero. Cody can't be trusted. Your thoughts? Maybe eventually, but I just Ciampa's not a big deal. You know, Ciampa is someone that you need a big star that the main roster fans know. I mean, Ciampa's only just been introduced to him now. He's done like one interview at ringside. I know he's done a few house shows against Gunter. I know that he got briefly called up with Johnny and they did a little DIY kind of tag team thing. But this is nothing. You've got to remember, like, NXT gets watched by 600,000 on a weekly basis. Raw gets watched by 1.6, like nearly 1 million more. I really don't know how many of those, and SmackDown even more, 2.2, 2.3. I don't know how many of those hardcores would know him, but how many of the kids know Tommaso Ciampa? Like, is that a big enough match? You see, for me, it needs to be Triple H against Cody. Triple H against Cody. I mean, Triple H is an all-time legend. Who doesn't know Triple H? But I think Ciampa's just not Cody's level at the moment. So I think that you could do that match eventually, and you've got a lovely backstory, but I don't know that you would be going to it very soon. I think that's one that you would want much, much further down the road. Personally, that's what I would think. I mean, I'm really pitching Cody to be Seth Rollins level, Kevin Owens level, that kind of mark, because that's how I see him. I see him on that level. I see him being a champion and like leading a brand, and you know, I mean, he's been positioned as that in AEW as well. It's only because he lost that match and couldn't compete for the title. He's left AEW without ever being the AEW champion. That's gotta wind him up a little bit. The fact that he's never been AEW champion, because obviously he lost that match, which meant he could never compete for the belt, which I think was a good move, because you don't want to be seeing the executive vice presidents as champions. It's all very Vern Gagne, isn't it? It's all very AWA. But Wrestler with Andy said, what if they rebrand Cody as Kobe on NXT? They could. Change his name. You can't make his name any smaller, can you? I mean, like, he'll probably lose the Rhodes. He probably will just be Cody going forward. Cody is different. He wasn't just a guy who left and signed elsewhere. He started a rival company to Vince. Yeah, I don't know what we mean. What do we mean? Cody is different. He wasn't a guy that left and signed. He started a rival company to Vince. I don't know what we mean by that. I mean, it is true. He did. Are we saying that he won't talk to Vince because he started a rival company? Because if that's the point, my answer to that would be yes, and then it turned so toxic he had to leave. It turned so toxic, he grew so frustrated that he then left that company that he helped start. And you know, if he ends up going to WWE, I mean, that is just a massive middle finger to AEW. And that's it. You're pledging your allegiance to WWE. The past is the past. And if he's going, I don't think Vince is going to, expect him to not talk and not like reveal information and not say anything about, Vince is going to talk to him about MJF and talent they've got. I mean, you'd be ridiculous to think Vince wouldn't. He's going to have those conversations. He's going to want to know who are AEW interested in. Do you really think Cody's going to turn around and go, NDA? Okay, well, who is Tony looking at? What names is he thinking of bringing in? NDA. Okay, well, who in WWE is he targeting? NDA. Like, it ain't gonna happen. They're gonna have a sit-down conversation because this is the real world and this is business, and Cody puts business first. I mean, I think what Cody did with AEW has been done, and that's it. That part of his life is over now. So, honestly, Vince is going to ask him questions, and I really can't see Cody not being able to answer because there's going to be a lot of questions that need answering. I mean, if I was Vince, I would have doubts as to where his loyalty was. I would be tying Cody down to a long contract as well. Forget doing a year, 12 months or whatever. Forget that. Even 2 years, forget that. If I'm bringing Cody and I'm bringing him in for 10 to 15 years, I'm tying Cody down to a long, long deal. I'll tell you why, because I ain't spending time building up Cody, giving him a WrestleMania match, building him up for him then to go back to AEW, because that could be a play. You know, Cody could turn around to Tony Khan and go, look, how about I go to WWE, have a bit of a run there, I'll come back and I'll be, you know, a massive monster star, an even bigger star. I mean, they could be using WWE to boost Cody's profile. So if I'm Vince, I ain't falling for that trick. If I'm Vince, I'm going to tie him down to a long, long contract. I mean, his time with AEW is done. And if he's going to go to AEW after like 10 years or whatever, well, we'll see where we are with AEW by the time we get to that point. You know, AEW might not be around in 10 years' time. We just don't know. Or it could be substantially weaker. Could be stronger. Who knows? But I'd be tying Cody down to a long contract. Alexander Young, shout out to you, dude. Dort Knight said, if I'm AEW, I'm putting on a brave face. I'm using the tagline from BK to the future. Rhodes, where we're going, we don't need Rhodes. Enjoyed that documentary on me. Oh, Dort Knight, appreciate it, buddy. I will watch that documentary. I've got it written down, so yeah, that's good. It's a good line. Very good. So, Dort Knight, appreciate the support. Alexander, we've got 2 minutes till NXT starts, you know. Alexander Young said, do you have any AEW figures? I don't. No, I've resisted the urge to collect them. I don't have like a problem with them. I think they're great. I think they're fine. But yeah, I've resisted the urge to get them, which is good because I really didn't need to be starting a whole new collection, to be honest. It was referring to the comment about Hogan leaving and still being treated well when he came back in terms of booking. I'm talking about how Vince will book Cody in terms of that information. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I mean, yeah, maybe there's a degree of that. Maybe it is, you know, you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. As I said, I don't see the ball being in Cody's court as much as other people do. Because what else is Cody going to do? He can't go to Japan because he's going to be away from Brandi and his newborn kid. So, yes, he could, but he won't want to do that. He's done that. He's done New Japan. He's ticked that box. Like, he won't want to do that. And he ain't going to want to go to Impact. No one really wants to go to Impact. He ain't going to want to go to Impact. That's smaller than NXT. So, he ain't going to want to do that. So, I don't know, man. I don't feel like the ball is as firmly in Cody's court as other people do. I think that he is going to... I think he'll try and go to WWE. They're going to offer him the best money. They're going to offer him the best platform. I don't think he can get everything his own way. And I think that he is going to be a great signing for WWE. I think he'll be a great signing. He ain't going to move a needle. But I think he will reveal information. I think that he will be a big star, have a big star feel. He's someone else that you could... I mean, like, in all fairness, you could drop him on SmackDown now because there's a real dearth of who's on SmackDown. You know, Big E's just been moved across, but he's been moved across to work with Kofi. You've got Drew running around with the stupid sword. You know, you could easily put Cody on that brand and it would really you know, SmackDown probably needs like a Cody. So I'd be tempted to put him on SmackDown. I know Roman's in the way, but he doesn't have to go after Roman or be anywhere near the title at this stage. Just have him around. Just have him kind of getting his feet under the table before he becomes the head of the table. But Cody, look, maybe Cody's the one that could beat Roman. Maybe they, really like the idea of someone coming in that we didn't expect and, totally surprising us. Going into that match, I think a lot of people would be like, nah, Vince ain't going to have Cody win. He's just come from AEW, and then boom, you shock the people, you shock the world. Cody beats Roman, and that's the end of Roman's title reign or something. You could do it. There's nothing stopping you do it. I mean, I would say nothing is off the table right now. Who thought we would be here with this? Who thought we would be here right now? So, Vape Ross Vape said, if they push Cody, that means AEW is legit. Vince won't do that. He never has. He might go on Level Up on NXT. You know Vince and the throne thing. No, he ain't going to Level Up on NXT. Cody Rhodes isn't even going to sign that contract, is he? He ain't going to sign the contract to go to Level Up in NXT. Cody is going to want a degree of respect and a degree of a certainty. He's going to definitely go main roster. He'll definitely go main roster. And I'm trying to find NXT here. Is it about to start? Let me flick this channel over because we might be missing NXT. Boom, it's begun. We've got the cage set up. Yeah, no, I mean, he'll go main roster. And I think he'll be booked well. I don't know that he'll be booked to the very top. And, you know, there could be the odd match that he gets jobbed out in. But, I mean, they ain't going to just keep burying him. It's not in their benefit. Vince is here to make money. Right. Pete Dunne versus Tony. We've got the cage match. BT Sport 1. There's rumors floating. Saudi were complaining about Legends losing. WWE have plans for Goldberg to win. Brock costing Roman the title. Says WWE Vibes. Someone tweeted how sad they were when the crowd didn't chant "and millions" when Rock shouted "millions" during the Super Bowl. And Rock replied saying, "Don't worry, the millions," with a pause, "is coming soon." Here's Tony arriving. So we've got Pete Dunne in the cage, and there's weapons that are like strapped to the sides as Tony makes his way inside the venue. This is what happens when you sign a ton of huge talent. It's a business. Business is money. If you don't pay top dollar, talent will leave. Is this a pay-per-view? Feels like a pay-per-view. It's a TV special. TV special. Right, Tony is inside the cage, and Pete Dunne is not messing around here. We've got the steel cage. We've got a table. We've got a trash can strapped to the side. We've got a chair. Boom. Chair shot to the back there by Pete. And again, chair breaks. Tony is going to win this. This is the final NXT match for Dunne, off to the main roster. Is Austin Theory Vince McMahon illegitimate son? They've never gone that way. Channel name said, after the match at Mania, Stone Cold should turn heel and manage Owens. Anthony said Cody hasn't wrestled like Rollins Roman. Brad said, I'd like to see Cody put in the Intercontinental Championship picture on SmackDown. Dave, hello. Is that all over Cody? He hasn't set up NXT. Is that all over Cody? All over. All in, all out, all over. Very good. I liked your fact as well, Dave. Very good, very interesting. Stomping on the toolbox there by Pete. Pete going inside this toolbox, grabbing a wrench, putting it on the finger, trying to snap back. Trying to snap back with a wrench, and he stomps down on the arm. Little bit awkward. The other interesting tidbit is that he's the one that's got all the trademarks back that his dad created. If he didn't sell them to Tony, he's going to get paid by both companies. What if Cody was in disagreement with how Tony handled money? The company's not profitable, flooded payroll, and maybe he's not happy with how Warner Media pulls a lot of strings. Yep. Yeah, I think there's definitely more at play. I mean, there's been lots of talk and lots of rumors of a lot of talent being unhappy with Cody and the way that Cody wants to book the show and how Cody books himself and how he puts himself over in certain feuds. There's been a lot of talk of that. And obviously rumors about pay. That's coming out as well. Big suplex there by Tony on Pete. So I think there's a myriad of reasons. Big suplex off the top rope here by Tony. Can you recommend any good wrestling books? I need something to read on my dinner at work that's not on my phone. What have you read? What are you into? I mean, there's some incredible books out there. The Mick Foley ones are very well regarded. Like Have a Nice Day. I read JR's, which I thought was very interesting. He's got some very good ones. And there's like Jericho's book's good. Bret Hart's book's good. Bret Hart's is very good, actually. Bret Hart's is one of the ones that gets... JR's and Bret Hart's are the ones that get mentioned the most. And Foley and Jericho, those four. There's been a few Foley ones. There's been a few JR ones. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of them, to be honest. There's... I've got a Bret Hart one up there called Hitman, which is really good. One of the most important books is called Fall Guys, and that's all about like wrestling from the early 1900s. I don't know if you'd want to go that far back, but it gives you such great insight to like how modern wrestling began. There's an Andre the Giant one as well called Eighth Wonder of the World that's meant to be fantastic. Tells you all about how Andre was booked and everything. It's meant to be really good. If you want, I'll tell you what I listened to. I used it as an audio book. The Unofficial History of WWE. If you just want an oversight of the history of WWE, that was very good. It went through the steroid trial. It went through the WrestleMania. It went through everything. Montreal, Attitude, WCW. It even touches on the formation of AEW. And that's called, I think, The Unofficial History of WWE. The only problem is there wasn't loads that I learnt from it, but it's just a nice little overview, basically. Pete Dunne's got his hands cable tied behind his back. Gets picked up and he's going to get hurled through a table. Guillotine. He's managed to get a guillotine applied. Pete Dunne with a guillotine. I like that spot. is over by the toolbox. Oh, he's got pliers and he's like squeezing the back of Pete Dunne with some pliers. Did NXT just steal ideas from NXT UK where Devlin handcuffed Dragunov? Asks Jim. Maybe. I brought my friend the Andre the Giant one, but I've not read it. I'm willing to give anything interesting a try. Yeah, the Andre one's meant to be fantastic. I love Fall Guys, but I'm only about 3/4 of the way through that one. But what I've read has been very insightful. The Bret Hart one's fantastic. Mick Foley one's fantastic. The JR one, he's had a couple. I've only read the first one that deals with him. That's a nasty table spot. Pete Dunne hurls Tony through that table. That's got to be the end. 1, 2. Tony gets hurled through a table. Brutal. And that's not the finish. Do you acknowledge George Hackenschmidt as the head of the table? George Hackenschmidt. Couldn't beat Gotch, could he? Couldn't beat Gotch. Twice he tried and failed. I've actually got, and I don't know if it's real, a George Hackenschmidt autograph. And I don't know if it's real. It's probably not real. I spent a bit of money on it, though. But I took a chance. And it's one of my treasured possessions. I saw Farmer Burns. He's the guy that trained Gotch from like the late 1800s. I saw an autograph of his. But that was really expensive on eBay. Farmer Burns is the head of the table. That's who the head of the table is. He was wrestling before wrestling was cool. Abraham Lincoln is the head of the table. He apparently was a wrestler as well, wasn't he? Abe Lincoln. Don't know if you knew that, but apparently he was into his wrestling. Why does Vince want Jade Cargill? Wow. She could be on the move, couldn't she? Tony. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out by Pete Dunne. Where is Cody going? Apparently, WWE. Why did Cody leave AEW? Well, money has been reported, but there's been reports of lots of problems behind the scenes for quite a while. So I think the amount of money that he was offered was the final straw. It wasn't enough. Cody leaving AEW has got to be a blow to the company because Cody also has the corporate role in getting deals and expansions. Tony doesn't have a lot of suits and ties to help him. Do you think Goldberg wins? No. Ledger Killer, hello. Jade Cargill, Jade versus Bianca. Bring it, says channel name. How many matches on the card tonight? I think it's about 5. Pete Dunne looking for Bitter M for a second time. 1, 2, 3. Pete Dunne wins. Pete Dunne wins. Put D'Angelo over. Dunne winning is boring, says Real. Where does Dustin stand? Be interesting to find out, won't it? That'll be very interesting to find out, but I mean, I think that he is going to... I think he'll stick around. I think he's got some great relationships with people. I don't think he'll walk away now because of what happened. I think he does a bit of training and everything, doesn't he? So I don't think that Dustin is looking to go back to WWE. I don't think so. But who knows? Be interesting. It'll be interesting for a few people. What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? One is really heavy and the other is a little lighter. Connor says, do you think Alexa will win Elimination Chamber? Why or why not? I think Bianca is going to go to WrestleMania because it was rumored that we were going to get Becky and Bianca. And I don't really see that changing because Alexa, I mean, she is making money for them on the merch. So unless they've got a new idea of putting her in that match and making it a triple threat, she could win and then Bianca gets added, or she might lose and Bianca wins. And then we just get Becky Bianca. It's either Becky Bianca or Becky Bianca and Alexa. And I don't know which way they're going to go, to be honest. But I'm going to say she doesn't. And I'm going to say that Bianca wins. Why have we got a camera in a bedroom? Why is there a camera in Cora Jade's bedroom at 5 in the morning? Okay. So they've gone to the... So Raquel has woken up Cora. And we're just seeing them train. Seeing Cora being put through her paces. There's some great technology there, isn't there? Look at some of this workout stuff they've got to use. Okay. Cora's acting stinks. WWE newbie, what is NXT? It's the developmental. So these are the stars of tomorrow. So these are the superstars that you'll see on Raw and SmackDown in the future. Some of them make it, some of them don't. Not everyone here gets to go to Raw and SmackDown, but you know, a good chunk of them will. So we're just seeing Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade training, working out. She is. Do you know what? This training montage has actually done the opposite of what I would want it to do. This training montage has actually shown me how thin and weak Cora Jade is. I actually thought she was all right until I watched this. I don't know if that's achieved what they wanted it to achieve. We've got Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph. They're talking about the Women's Dusty Cup starts next Tuesday. That's a tag team tournament for the women. And there is the Women's Dusty Rhodes Trophy. Is that the women's one or the men's one? Do you remember when Hulk Hogan trained Mean Gene? This wasn't as entertaining as that. No, it wasn't. Jonathan, shout out to you. I hope you're well. Pete Dunne to NXT UK. Others that don't make it on NXT go to AEW. That's true. Roman Reigns is the absolute chief. NXT is the wrestling minor leagues. Days, Dustin tweeted, he isn't leaving. He loves it in AEW. Okay, that's interesting. Thanks, James. Come on, Days. No one expected Cora to be strong. She is a high flyer. To be honest, I've never really... I know she's not a powerhouse. But watching her here, like, working out. So, like, Raquel was lifting big weights, and then Cora's got these little ones. I've never really looked or noticed before at, like, how thin her arms are and how thin she is. So that did this. That for me, that did the slight opposite of what it wanted to do. Right, we're just hearing from the Creed brothers, and we're hearing from MSK. Hayden said 205 Live is ending and being replaced with a new show. Yeah, that'll be interesting. NXT Level Up. Don't really know much about it, but we'll find out. Quinn McKay signed with WWE. Did she really? Have they signed Quinn McKay? Is that true? Have they signed Quinn McKay? That's a great signing if so. She is so likable. I hope that's true. She's the girl that wears the little bow tie. Yeah. So she is on NXT Level Up, Quinn McKay. That's a good signing, man. That's a good signing. I really like her. Tonight, ahead of NXT, the newest ring announcer for NXT was revealed as former ROH talent Quinn McKay. In WWE, McKay will be going by the name Kelly Kincaid. Kelly Kincaid. Oh, I don't like that. Kelly Kincaid. Well, she's cool. I like her. She's cool. Right, Toxic Attraction coming up next. Quinn McKay, now known as Kelly Kincaid. I think that's what Kincaid. I think it's Kincaid. MSK lost, new team win. Well, it's not that yet. First, we've got Toxic Attraction taking on Indi and Persia Pirotta. William said, I am talking about anything else than what is going on. One of the Creed brothers looks like Greg Valentine. Oh, LSW. LSW, you get extra cool points for a Greg Valentine reference. Well done. Well done, young man. A reference of Greg the Hammer Valentine. My favorite team. William said, who is excited for the WEP next week? I'm excited for the WEP next week. You need to flesh out that song a bit more, or allow me to play it all, because I feel like we only gave a little taster this week. I feel like we only got a little taster. Level Up is the name of the new show that is replacing 205 Live. I lose those tag belts, but Mandy keeps hers, says Real. Days, do you like AEW or WWE better? Why or why not? I mean, if I had to choose one, I'd choose WWE because I grew up with it. And AEW is, like, you know, still relatively new, so I don't have those memories, or I don't have that connection to it. I mean, WWE has given me Bruno, Undertaker, Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock, Cena, Roman, you know, Bull Nakano, Asuka. I mean, like, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So I've got, of course, I've got a soft spot for that more so than AEW. But we were talking about it earlier, and we were saying you never know which show in the week is going to be the best show. So you never know. AEW could be the best show, and it has been very good since Bryan Danielson came in. And I do think that Serena Deeb might be the best female wrestler that I watch on a consistent basis. So we are underway, and Toxic Attraction attacking Persia Pirotta and Indi Hartwell on the outside. Strike by Jacey Jayne. Jacey Jayne and Gigi Dolin. Pirotta. Fall away slam. Here's Indi. Backbreaker. Clothesline by Indi. Just a 2 count. Would Arn Anderson follow Cody? I don't think so. I mean, he might, but I don't think so. Depends what Arn wants to do. I mean, depends what WWE want to do. I mean, it's, you know, Vince might not be interested in Arn. AEW tend to lean on their legends more, you know. AEW tend to have, like, you know, Sting, Arn, Tully, Jake. They tend to have more legends around than what WWE do. I mean, you could make an argument that Brock's a legend and Seth's a legend, but I mean, like, proper old school. So I don't know that Vince would want Arn. I don't know if he would know what to do with Arn. Mandy Rose has been thrown away from ringside. You're out of there! Jacey Jayne is kicking the ropes. Oh, Sharma. Arn wouldn't follow Cody because WWE wouldn't use him that way. John said, I'm just tuning in. Is Cody going to WWE? Apparently they're in talks. Yep. Apparently they're in talks. Unbelievable. Weird question, but will you be going to this year's Telford Comic Con? I don't have any plans to. I don't even know when it is, to be honest, my friend. I mean, it is just down the road, so I would like to go. I live, like, what, 20-odd minutes away from Telford, so... Is there one coming up soon? Oh, there is. April 2nd and 3rd. April 2nd and 3rd. Telford Takeover. What? Who are the guests? Here we go. Guests. David Tennant, boring. Someone from Avengers, boring. Someone from X-Men, boring. Someone from True Blood, boring. A Hobbit, boring. Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell, boring. Evangelina Lilly. What was she in? She was in something. Evangelina Lilly, I know her. Not from Ant-Man or Avengers. I know her from something else. Boring. Miranda Otto. Boring. Someone from Lord of the Rings, boring. Someone from Twilight, boring. Someone from Supernatural, boring. Someone from Supernatural, boring. Someone from Buffy, boring. Someone from Firefly, boring. Someone from... Oh, Brian Blessed. Brian Blessed! Flash Gordon. Some Batman animated rubbish. Where's the wrestlers? Oh, wow, they've got the dad from Sister. Sister. Oh, my God, I could go and meet him. They've got some woman from... Oh, they've got the attractive woman from The Fresh Prince. She's there. Could go and meet her. Amazing. Star Wars. Boring. Is there any wrestlers that... Oh, here we go. Here's the wrestlers that are at the Telford Comic Con. Sammy Guevara. I only live 20 minutes away. I could meet him. Don't want to. Anna Jay. She's not a wrestler. Ty Conti. She's not a wrestler. Who the hell is that? Who's that? Cody. Cody's there. Cody Rhodes. Mama na. Triple H. Triple H is there, guys. I could go meet Triple H. Who the hell are you? Emma Cauliflower. Don't know who she is. Is that it? Is that, honestly, is that it? Just, that's it. They've only got one wrestler. One wrestler. I can go and meet Sammy Guevara. To answer your question, no, I don't think I'm going to go at the moment. Isn't Lily getting cancelled? She better be. She better be. Right, we're back from Gordon's Alive! You're making the sweaty neckbeard sad. Boring. Face first by... I could go meet the dad from Sister, though. I'm into that. Oh, she was in Lost. Yes. I know. Kate. Is her name Kate? Was she Kate in Lost? Was that her? That's how I know her. I'd maybe meet the plane wreckage, but I don't want to meet her. Gigi Dolin in the corner. Persia. Hurls Gigi. She's really good at those Germans. Oh, Jacey Jayne is in. Jumps on her back. A book's coming out in April called Blood and Fire, the unbelievable real story of... Yes! Elizabeth. I heard the interview with Jim Cornette. And it sounded fascinating. I'd like to read that. I really want to get the Buddy Rogers one as well, which I think I heard on his show. There's a Buddy Rogers one that's come out, and Buddy Rogers was the first WWE champion, so I mean that would be fascinating to read a book about the first WWE champion. And obviously Rogers is the guy that was the original Nature Boy, had the figure 4 leg lock, and you know a lot of that Ric Flair took. You know, Ric Flair's not the original Nature Boy. He's not the guy that invented the figure 4, unsurprisingly. Buddy Rogers had it all before. So I'd like to read that book as well. But I don't have time to read books. So I need audio books. That's what I need. Audio books. And for some reason, a lot of these wrestling ones don't get audio. But there are a lot. But there's like some of the specialist ones. Like there's a Bob Backlund book that I can't find as an audio book. The Buddy Rogers one hasn't come as an audio book. Or at least I don't think so. I have never checked Amazon, actually. I should do that. This match is alright. This match is alright. I'm not hating on this match. Tag, in comes Jacey Jayne. Master of the Ring. Oh, Kindle edition. But that won't be an audio book, will it? No. Master of the Ring, the biography of Buddy Rogers. 4.5 stars. Toxic Attraction get the win. Toxic Attraction get the dub. Jacey Jayne. What was up with Kurt not getting the 3-week TV time on Raw? I don't know what you're on about. You can get Sting's book cheap. It's called Moment of Truth, says Master Chief. Toxic Attraction win. Root Beer Float said, is Cody just lying and they're making it a storyline? Oh, no. Hang on. You will see. Are you telling me or asking? Because you said, is Cody just lying? That's a question. And they're making it a storyline. You will see. You'll see. You'll all see. Evangelina Lilly is also in Ant-Man. Boring. Ant-Man. Ants are boring. Men are boring. Put them together. Super boring. That's what they should have called it. Marvel Super Boring. She plays the Wasp. Literally the most boring flying animal. Here is Wendy Chu. Why don't you do a Sheldon Cooper and create your own Comic-Con? Starbridge Comic-Con. He got Earl Jones. I'm sure you could get someone. I could get Jude Bellingham. Robert Plant. Okay. We're good. Yeah. Good luck. Wendy. What is she doing? What is Dakota doing? A spot on my team has opened up for the Dusty Cup. You want to team up with me? She's talking to no one. What have they done to Dakota Kai? Jeez. You should make your own Comic-Con. Sure. Right, we've got some security. We've got Sanga. We've got Grayson Waller. Oh yeah, they're going after LA Knight, aren't they? For he broke the rules. He broke that restraining order. Cody aside, how does WWE use Brandi? Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe there's some belts that could be polished at the headquarters or something. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Give her some money. Send her shopping. Ask her to sit at home and watch the network and check if there's any, like, glitches in any of the shows or... what do you do? You keep her as far away from television as possible. That's what you do. I don't know what it is about Brandi. Like, she's just got this amazing ability to come onto the TV show, and I just automatically find myself going... Like, I can't even control it. Literally, her face pops up, and my hand's like, stop it! I'm trying to watch this show. No! Stop it! God, Jesus Christ! It's so annoying. So, I don't want to have to do that during WWE. Dave says, I'm on Comic-Con in real life. Comic-Con in real life. They're putting NXT Level Up on network. It won't get great ratings. I wonder what it is. It's just going to be like, these are people not good enough for NXT thing. If Brandi ever comes face-to-face with Steph, that would be a cool moment. She's not big enough, is she? I mean, yeah, maybe you could do a story out of that, but I think everyone just hates Brandi. Like, that's just going to be two women that people hate going up against each other. Do you know what I mean? Just make Brandi like Maurice, except she doesn't talk. She stands at ringside and she doesn't move. What's your problem with Brandi? I've never really noticed her. She loves the spotlight. Like, she's just always around. She's just always got to be a part of everything. She's just always got to be, like, you know. She comes out with Cody wearing, like, tiny things. She's always, like, trying to interfere in matches. She's just always getting involved. I mean, like, she was the ring announcer in WWE. And, like, she's obviously gone off to, like, you know, really kind of walk down with... She's trying to be a valet. She's become a valet that then became a wrestler. I mean, don't forget, she then tried to make herself a wrestler, and she was wrestling on the indie scene. I just kind of feel like she doesn't quite know what she wants to do. She's tried a bit of everything. Nothing's really sticking for her. She's tried a bit of announcing. She's tried a bit of wrestling. She's tried to be a valet. She's tried to do all three at the same time. She really has tried a little bit of everything. She's just got to be involved. Got to be involved. But she doesn't seem to have any discernible skill. I mean, she can do ring announcing because that's really just talking into a microphone. So, I mean, she can do that. But as a wrestler, she was not great. And that's being kind. As a promo, she just comes across as a bit smarmy. I think she's actually not a bad heel. She's someone that you just naturally find yourself going, like, don't like Brandi. Part of Cody's dislike is because of Brandi. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that people don't like Cody because Brandi's around so much. Brandi Rhodes, the statue. D-Wolf said, I don't see Cody Brandi returning to WWE. What would you rate the show so far? What are your thoughts on camera angles? I can't say the camera angles are anything that really distract me too much. I can't say they're anything that really stand out as a problem. what do I rate the show so far? I thought the first match was a bit rubbish. Just spot after spot after spot. It's not my match. You know, spot after spot. No selling loads of stuff. Putting through tables, kicking out. Loads of finishers, kicking out. I think it was meant to be like a brutal, exciting opener. But I found myself getting a bit bored of it. I think like when they're getting a spanner and they're using that to bend fingers back. Especially when he couldn't quite get it on, first of all. And like Tony's having to sort of help him a little bit. Like, why didn't Tony just punch him in the face? Like, you know, waiting for Pete Dunne to put a spanner on the fingers of Tony. You just kind of go, this is silly. This is a bit silly. So the first match I wasn't really into. Second match I thought was better. Felt more like a contest. And I thought the tag match was all right, actually. So I think well below expectation at the moment. So probably for me, I'm about 6. About 6. I wouldn't say it was anything atrocious. There was even parts of that first match that was all right. You know, you could take some bits from it. Reminded me a little bit of the Sammy Cody ladder match. That match went a bit too long, had a bit too much in it, had some very obvious cooperation, but there were still some moments you could take from it. And I kind of feel the first match was like that. Tag match, I thought, as I said, was pretty decent. Thought it was all right. I love the German suplexes from Persia Pirotta. I think they're very eye-catching. But some of these kind of cutaways are a bit painful. That Wendy Chu thing was a bit painful. Here's LA Knight. Another friend zone situation, says Zoom Station. Zachary said, I'm about a 5.5. Well, we'll get people's thoughts when we get to the halftime scores. But just as a ballpark, that's kind of where I am. D. Welsh said, what the F was that? My God. My God. LA Knight. LA Knight. There we go. Dave gave Sammy Cody 5 stars. Dave gave Sammy Cody 5 stars before the match even happened. Grayson Waller making his way out with security. It didn't have to be this way. So they're just showing a replay here. So he's just showing the video of LA Knight attacking him. Fun fact, Daze has never been friend zoned. Very true. LSW said, I don't like the cameraman in the ring. Has he done something to you? If you need to talk to us about it. It doesn't feel like I'm spectating a wrestling show, but rather an overproduced manufactured production. Tell you what, LSW. I'm loving your work this evening. Greg the Hammer Valentine mention, and then a comment of you know, something you're seeing that you're not feeling, and the reason why. Fair play. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. Okay. So LA Knight has got some video evidence of his own that he would like to submit. There's LA Knight a couple of weeks ago. So Grayson Waller attacking LA Knight. I'm doing great work. It's hard work, says LSW. What are your thoughts on the bidding war of 2024? What's that in? Is that the MJF bidding war of 2024? Well, I must admit, right now, it kind of feels like MJF is just using it as something to talk about. I don't think MJF is too... I don't believe that he'll go to WWE. I think he'll re-sign, and I think it's something he's using to get the fans to talk. But, I mean, if now that Cody's gone, that bidding war of 2024 just got a lot more interesting. I know that much. Okay, the security has left Grayson Waller in the ring. So the security has left Grayson Waller in the ring. Clothesline by LA Knight. LA Knight is getting arrested. It's a work. I'm waiting for a high-quality tornado tag match. Now we've been told we can't say the F word or the S word. All I want to say is B, C, B, B. Fair play. Night days and everyone. Enjoy the stream. Stay safe and have fun. Dort Night, shout out to you. So LA Knight challenging Grayson Waller to a match next week. Yeah. I wonder how long it'll take them to do Cody and Brandi versus Miz and Maurice, says Liv and Selena Stan. How long will it take them to do Cody and Brandi versus Miz and Maurice? Yeah, I'm sure that will happen. What about Seth and Becky as well? Persia backstage saying to Indi it's not her fault. We can get those championships. Dexy. Here's Dexter. Dexy. Persia's not happy that she's being left on her own in the locker room. Here's Duke Hudson. Here's Cameron Grimes to the moon. I thought WWE was only scouting talent through a new system and not indies, unless there's some exceptions like Quinn McKay. I think if there's talent out there, they'll get it from anywhere. I don't think they're not going to go to certain places. Just because you're in the indies, I don't think it's like necessarily a black mark against your name, but you know, they are looking for a specific type of person. I think they're after like the bigger guys at the moment. Quinn McKay, I mean, they're after a ring announcer, and you know, she's free and she's good at what she does, and she's very likable, and she's a good addition. I don't know if they'll think to use her as a wrestler, though, to be honest. They might do. It's good that she can compete. It's an interesting little twist, isn't it? That's what they did in Ring of Honor. Like, she was a wrestler, but she wasn't really used as a wrestler. But she had been a wrestler. And they finally got to the point where people were like challenging her and bullying her, and she had to then stand up for herself. So the fact that she can do that, I think, is really good. You know, you was never going to get that out of Charlie Caruso or Kayla Braxton or Renee Young. But Quinn McKay, it's interesting. Do you think they're trying to make LA Knight the next Stone Cold? I don't think they're trying to make him the next Stone Cold. I think that he is just a natural talker. And I think he's a bit of a... I don't know what you would compare him to be honest. I wouldn't say Stone Cold. I think that he is someone that's got a bit of a Stone Cold swagger, and he can talk. But he doesn't really have that kind of stone cold attitude. He doesn't come out and like, what? And stick the middle fingers up and dish out stunners and whatever. So I wouldn't say he was the next Stone Cold. But I can see him going to the main roster. It's a very good promo, and, he can do a match. Match quality is never anything Vince worries about. As long as you can actually do a match, it's all about, like, how do you look and what's your promo like, really. I would say match is probably, of the three, look, promo, and match, I'd say match is the one that Vince cares about the least. So he's got an all right look. He's got a great promo. His matches are all right as well, but yeah, I can see him going to the main roster. I like LA Knight. Hopefully he goes to the main roster right after the WrestleMania call-up, says Harry. Mr. Kennedy. Yeah, it's not a bad comparison. It took Days a while to shine to LA Knight. I'm going to be honest, I'm still not quite there. I'm still not really there. I'm not a big LA Knight fan. You're absolutely right. I never have been. I'm still not really a big fan. I think that I feel the same way about him now as I think I always have. I mean, like, his looks all right. He can definitely cut a promo. I don't ever think he really says anything. Like, I mean, like, in that segment there, what did he really say? If you think about The Rock, who had some catchphrases, I know that LA Knight's got the "let me talk to you" thing, but it's not really like what The Rock was doing. If you smell and the millions and millions, and I think it'd be good if LA Knight had a call and response. So like where he says something and then the crowd says something in response. Because with The Rock, has got that millions and millions, and with LA Knight, it'd be good maybe if he had something like that as well. But, I just never really feel like he talks, his delivery is great, he's confident. I want him to, like, throw a few kill shots in there, a couple of really good lines. I just never really feel like he does. So, yeah, no, you are right. You are right, Jilly. He is someone that's... I appreciate the skills that he's got. Let's put it that way. I appreciate the skills that he's got. French Montana, If I Go Down, is available now, guys. A lot of people have been asking me about that. But French Montana, If I Go Down, is available now. That is confirmed. That would be a fire name for ring announcer. They didn't need to go with Kelly McCade. I did not see James Chadwick's message, so I don't know what he proposed. Where is he? Where's Chadders? Quinn's real name is Kelly Verbil. French Montana. Where does a waitress with only one leg work? IHOP. Tommaso, I think, addressing Dolph Ziggler here. Man United won 2-0, didn't they? 2-0 to Man United. Bruno scoring in the 97th minute. So, I don't think it really mattered if I went for Bruno or went for Neil Mopé. I think they both probably got about the same in the end. But an excellent result for Man United tonight. Jumper said, "This is my home." Is this Carmelo? Carmelo. When I shoot, I don't miss. We won a game. Yay! Do you think there should be an NXT Money in the Bank? You can do it, 100%, but I wouldn't do it at Money in the Bank. I would just do it on an episode of NXT. We already have a men and a women's. But if they did it on a separate NXT one, then that would be great. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Right, we've got Carmelo Hayes about to take on Cameron Grimes. To the moon. Will Ziggler ever main event WrestleMania? No. A dream tag team of mine, Ciampa and Orton. LA Mid, said Tom Stocks. LA Mid. It's Cody and Hogan unite and run wild at WrestleMania. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do? Mello. Right, Carmelo Hayes. We are 4 minutes away. Case said, what's happened so far? What have I missed? You've missed the cage match. You've missed the lady tag match. And you've missed LA Knight clotheslining Grayson Waller. Now we've got Cameron Grimes about to be taking on Carmelo Hayes. Future world champ Carmelo Hayes, says Robin. Cameron Grimes is going to win, and it's going to be a new belt. Right, we've got some money being spat out onto the floor. Heart, desire, passion. Self-made millionaire, investor in cryptocurrency. He was the last $1 million champion. So, to the moon. To the moon thing's really over, isn't it? So, Cameron Grimes is here. He's been around for a little while now, Cameron Grimes. I remember when he first burst onto the scene and he was doing that kind of weird, I don't know what it was, like carnival kind of thing. It was weird. North American Championship. What bad thing will happen at WrestleMania this year? Brandi Rhodes might be there. Oh, God. Was that the money that Vince paid for Cody? He's just chucking it around now, isn't he? Chucking it around. Hold all the title. Oh, very good. Very good. Very good. I can't hear what they're chanting. To the moon. The Rock is coming back soon, says Tony. To the moon, to the moon, to the moon. Will Cody really return? What do you think? I think so, yeah. Yeah, I believe it. I think there's just too much smoke. I think if it was maybe if it was just the announcement that Cody had put out saying goodbye, then maybe I would be like, okay, maybe this is a work. But then Tony has put a message out as well on behalf, so all of a sudden this is a real, it's not just something Cody's doing that he's run past Tony. Tony is involved because he's sent a tweet out as well. And even then I'd be like, oh, well, maybe it's a work. But now there's like people, WrestleVote sending out messages saying they've spoke to people in WWE and they expect Cody to sign. I mean, I can't remember what WrestleVote's actual wording was. But that's, another layer that makes you go, oh, okay, well, that's another reason now as to why this could be real. Spoke to a source just now that fully anticipates that WWE have come to, or are coming to, an agreement with Cody. Unbelievable. So that coming from WrestleVotes, who are not bad. Not bad. So, yeah, just a big day in wrestling. I can understand people struggling with it because I struggled with it. As soon as I saw it, my first reaction was, no way. And that just is your first reaction. It was my first reaction. But now, you know, there's just been so much talk. You go, well, I mean, even Dave is reporting that it's to do with money. So even Dave Meltzer is, like, you know, not in the loop, in the know. And you've got to know that Dave has got connections. So Dave is saying that it's due to money. If it is a work, it's one of the biggest works we've ever seen. If this all does turn out to be a work, I won't even be upset that they fooled me, because it'll be one of the biggest works we've ever seen. Tony would be in on it. Maybe even Dave would be in on it. You know, Dave Meltzer would be in on it. Because if Dave Meltzer was to find anything out, he would surely report it. So he'd either have to be in on it, or they've done an incredible job of hiding it from him. There's just too, for me, there's too much. There comes a point where there's just too much now. It's not just Cody. It's not just Cody sending a message out. It's Cody, and it's Tony, and Dave saying the reason why, and WrestleVote saying they're hearing that he's going to WWE. It's too much smoke. Too much smoke. WrestleVote said their sources say Cody is going to WWE, but they're skeptical. Very good. Very good. Would love to see Cody at Mania versus a wrestling buddy of Triple H. Just taunt the out of him. Great Britain women's curling is now 2-1 up against China. I didn't know China played curling. China from DX. Is that what she does? No, she's dead. We should definitely leave that there. Cody isn't a big star. WWE, unlike AEW, says Connor. Jilly said, and all the wrestlers' tweets and pictures. True. Future match for WrestleMania 40. Goldberg versus Rock versus Brock versus Edge. Elimination Fatal 4-Way. Loser retires. WWE's going to bury Cody again, says Shola. What if they feed him to Roman? They could. They really could. I think that Cody will want some assurances. I don't think he'll get full creative control. I mean, it's just not something Vince really gives out. And nor should he. I mean, the ball is as much in Vince's court as it is in Cody's. If he really has left, what alternatives has he got? You know, so I think he could go. I think that they could use him as someone that goes after title. I think that they could book him the way they've booked Seth. Seth, you know, has kind of just had a few years away from the title. He's had a feud with Ray. He's had a feud with Edge. You know, he's had a feud with a few different people. He's not really been around the title, but he did get a title opportunity. I could see Cody being booked that way. Kind of could be in the mix for the mid-card, but if not, he can just have feuds with people. Stardust was really good. I don't think Stardust will come back, to be honest, but I should imagine that'll be the first thing Cody says. Vince, good to see you. I'm not being Stardust. And don't you dare put me in polka dots. Can I just tell you, they keep hammering this Zendaya advert now. I know this was kind of launched at for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, they're getting their money out of it. They're showing it over here now. As long as they don't bring back Stardust, I'll be fine. Do you agree? As long as they don't bring back Stardust. Yeah, they won't bring back Stardust. Stardust was underrated. I like the character. He should have been world champion. In that match I mentioned, who would you pick to lose? I can't remember who was in it, to be honest. Oh, was it Edge, Brock, Goldberg, and someone else? Like if I had to pick someone to lose, I'd pick Goldberg to lose. I've never really cared too much for Goldberg. I was never really into WCW, so I don't have I don't have that emotional connection to Goldberg. Please dress up as Stardust. Shiran, you seem to have like a weird kinky thing for Stardust that's concerning me. And now you want me to dress up like Stardust. Doesn't feel normal. Don't like it, Shiran. I'm worried about you. In my mind, you're sat there dressed as Stardust right now. In my mind, you're sat there and you're like... You're doing that. And then you'll type a message. And then you'll go back again. I don't know why you keep doing it, but... I like Stardust more than Goldust. Well, do you know what? I didn't realise that apparently... Not only are we a community of wrestling fans, I seem to have stumbled across the Stardust Appreciation Society. That's what we seem to have this evening. Out of nowhere. I'd like to be the one to welcome all the Stardust fans that we've got here this evening, but it is like we've got the Stardust Appreciation Society around. Fair play. Fair play. William said, can I dress up like Stardust? William, if you dress up like Stardust and send me the video, you will break the internet. You almost broke the internet earlier with your singing. Tom said, Stardust should remain in the dustbin of history. The dustbin of history. Where many a career goes. Indeed. Days, you need to watch mid-80s, early 90s WCW. I probably do, actually. I mean, I've watched bits of, like, The Horseman and Rock and Roll, Midnight, things like that. But it seems to drastically change, doesn't it, around, like, 93, 94? And then you get, like, Dungeon of Doom and Kevin Sullivan doing all that, Hogan coming in. Seems to kind of change. I mean, before that, late 80s, early 90s, it kind of seems a bit more NWA territory kind of style. And then it really shifts gears, doesn't it? And I must admit, I haven't really watched loads of, like, the late 80s, early 90s. I've watched key bits. We're all made up of Stardust. Absolutely. Stardust sucks. Stardust maniacs running wild. Don't be jealous. My pipes are a national treasure. Wow. Certainly the sailors say that. Cameron Grimes stuck underneath. Oh. Spanish Fly. What if Stardust said he was going to the moon? I went to London 2012 because I thought the world was going to end. I drank and watched a lot of Would I Lie to You? Okay. Why did you think the world was going to end in 2012? Oh, there was a film. Was that Nostradamus or something that said it was going to around that time? There was a film, 2012, wasn't there? I think Nostradamus said the world would end in 2012. Strike coming in by Carmelo Hayes. A great match was Legacy versus DX back in the day. Yeah, Cody did some fun stuff. Do you remember when he was, like, dashing Cody Rhodes? And he hurt his face and he was, like, putting a bag on his head. Because he didn't want anyone to see how ugly he was, even though nothing had happened. Big boot by Carmelo. I'm not a Stardust fan. I'm a Phil Jones stan. Yes. Oh. 1. Cameron Grimes. 2. Shoulder up. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad little contest. Setting Cody up to get stunned at Mania, says Mr. Ray. Cody saw that 24/7 title segment last night and said, I need to be a part of that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he saw the injustice of what, because we know that Cody's a ladies' man. I think he saw the injustice of how Dana was treated. And he is coming in literally to go after Reggie. That's it. He wants to get that title off Reggie, get it back into the rightful hands of Dana. And that's his sole motivation. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. There's a lot of talk stemming from the Mayan calendar about 2012. Basically, their long calendar was ending as we went into another era, hence most of 2012 talk back then. I know it's not happening, but imagine if Cody presented the Dusty Cup. Oh, very good. Very good. I wonder how Dustin feels about Cody going to WWE. I wonder if he feels betrayed, angry, sad, pleased for him, proud. I don't know. I've got no idea how Dustin feels about it. James said that apparently Dustin sent a tweet out saying that he's staying in AEW. Super kick by Cameron Grimes. Grimes, 1, 2. Kick out by Carmelo. How could Austin Theory's selfie gimmick be improved? Nothing. Well, to be honest, I don't think anything. It always feels like an afterthought. I don't think that any of the selfies are ever actually used for anything. So maybe if you started to use those selfies, then that would be an easy way to improve it. Him just coming in going, like, we don't really ever see those pictures. Like, you could really build a big thing around it. Like, make sure that he posts the selfies on social media. So, you know, any embarrassing pictures that he takes, and he needs to make sure they're as embarrassing as possible. Those pictures then get posted on social media. Not only that, though, he could take a selfie and something could happen in the background. And it could maybe lead to a bit of a, you know, maybe he takes a selfie just as there's like 2 people kissing in the background. And he's got the evidence of it or whatever it might be. I feel like you need to use the selfies for something. 2. Shoulder up by Carmelo. That was a big crossbody. The crowd are loving this. Big crossbody by Cameron Grimes. Crowd are really into the match. To the moon. Charges over. Carmelo rolls out the ring. Going for a kick. Stomp on Trick Williams. Trick Williams goes down. Mr. Bout It, Bout It. Ooh. Carmelo rams Cameron Grimes into barricades. Carmelo says to the belt, I'm not going to lose you. Yeah, I would have him. I would have the selfies mean something. I don't know how. There's lots of different ways you can do it. But I'd have the selfies mean something. And I think you could definitely use social media to, like, further it. Crossface by Carmelo on Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes trying to get over to the ropes. He's about to get there. Ah, that's good by Trick Williams. Trick Williams actually pulling the rope further away. 1, 2. Kick out by Carmelo. Simp Dust is coming back to be Dana Savior, yes. Austin Theory should try and take selfies in the middle of a match, and then the ref takes his phone away, then does low blows, uses sticks as weapons, etc. That'd be good. That'd be good. 1, 2, 3. Carmelo wins. Good. Have him come out with last week's selfie printed on his shirt. Oh, I like that. In a feud, if you're in a feud with someone and you've got a particularly embarrassing one, then yeah, I like that. Maybe print him out as well and start giving them to people in the front rows. Do you know what I mean? You could like use that as well. It's just about how far you want to go with it. Right now, it's literally just him with his phone, like, but nothing ever really comes of him. But yeah, it's good. I like that idea. It's very good. Mello retains very good between those two. Taboy said match of the night. Robert said, I'm sorry, I'm back. Don't apologize for being back. Welcome to this Stardust appreciation stream. Alex said, I'm thinking of streaming YouTube instead of Twitch. How do you do it? Streamlabs or YouTube Studio? I go through OBS. Yeah. So you do OBS. In your settings, you have to choose like Twitch or whatever. You select YouTube. And then when you set up a stream, you get the stream key and you just drop that in your settings. It's really easy. It's really simple. Days, not being serious, how would you have Cody return to WWE or NXT 2.0? WWE. Okay. WWE, 100%. Cody was in WWE before. He was Stardust. He was dashing Cody Rhodes. He's already been on the main roster. I understand that when Drew came back, they put him in NXT. So I understand that they did it to Drew, but Drew had been away from the spotlight for a while. I don't think you bring Cody back to NXT, and I don't think Cody would sign to come back to NXT. Not the promotion he spent. I mean, like, that is so demoralizing. The promotion that he worked so hard to battle against and defeat. Cody's now going to go and join NXT. Like, Cody can't need the money that much to be that demoralized. Like, that is demeaning. Do you know what I mean? That would be a no from me. If Vince was like, all right, I'm going to sign you, I'm going to put you down in NXT. I mean, the only thing I can think is if Vince was like, listen, I'm going to put you in NXT for a month. It's just going to be a month. But I'm going to debut you there because I really do need help with the ratings. So we'll debut you there. We'll get the boost in the ratings, hopefully get some more eyes to it. We'll have you do a few matches. But after a month, we'll bring you up. And you can go to the main roster. And then we'll start building you towards whatever. I mean, could they say that? Maybe. I don't see it. If I'm Cody, there ain't no way I want to go to NXT. That is so demeaning. You know, Cody will want it to seem like he's gone to bigger and better things. Cody will want it to look like, well, I left AEW because there was a big opportunity for me. You can't really say that if you go to NXT, can you? Certainly not when he left, he was on the main roster anyway. So, for me, I think that Drew was in a slightly different position because Drew, you know, he wasn't really on much TV. I think he'd done a bit of Impact and he'd done some, like, indie promotions. But, yeah, I mean, Cody's different. Cody's coming from the second biggest promotion in North America. A promotion that gets, you know, 1 million views. The wrestling fans know who Cody is. Everyone who doesn't know who Cody is. I don't think you have to really reintroduce him. I don't think you need to do that. So I would put him on WWE. I would make him seem like a big deal. I would build him up, give him some good feuds. He's a fresh face. Lots of exciting matches that you can do. I know that Vince is going to be tempted to to hold him back a little. Because Vince won't want AEW to seem like they've got the best talent. I totally understand that. Some of the booking will be interesting. But I can see it ultimately playing out very similar to the booking of Seth. I don't think that Cody will be a Roman and be a champion and dominate a brand. But equally, I don't think he's going to be a Nakamura. You know, gets a mid-card title and is just left to rot. I can see him being someone that has feuds, is used quite a bit, gets the occasional championship match, but I can see that. I can see them using Cody that way. There's lots of ways you can use him, to be honest. I mean, he could be a champion on Raw. He could be the champion on Raw and carry that belt for a while. There'd be no reason to not do that. But I just can't see him. I can't see him signing and agreeing to go to NXT. I mean, I just think that would be really demeaning. Cody was offered a relationship angle with Tamina, which he accepted without hesitation. Yeah, well, we'd all accept that, actually. Come on. The opportunity to get into a relationship with Tamina. Come on, Jilly. Come on. Every red-blooded male in this chat right now would drop what they were doing to sign that contract. So, Shiran says, we want Stardust. We want Stardust. I was more like a kid in a candy store. I tried to be cool, but I was licking my lips. I don't even want to know what he's talking about. Do you think Cody will cut an anti-AEW promo? I don't think so, to be honest, because it would come across as a bit shallow. I mean, the only thing he might do is just talk about maybe how out of touch Tony is. I mean, he won't say that. But could there be a little something? It's great to have the freedom. I don't know what he could say. I'm trying to think, could he say, it's great to have the opportunity to compete for a title? Or something, I don't know. It's great to, it's great, it's great that I've actually been given the ball for real here. Or something like that. I don't know. I don't want to see that. I've said before, I don't like AEW taking shots at WWE, and I don't like WWE taking shots at AEW. So that's not something I would want to see. It's just petty. Focus. We've learned from the Attitude Era, just focus on your own lane. Focus on what you need to do. WWE was successful because they built new stars. They built Stone Cold. They built The Rock. They had Triple H coming through. WCW faltered because who could they build? They managed to build Goldberg. But, they dropped the ball with Jericho. They dropped the ball with Ray. They dropped the ball with Eddie because the top of the card was cluttered with Hogan and Nash. And so, yeah, they should just focus on themselves. We've got Io and Kaylee Ray. Tell you what, Io with a green baseball bat is pretty terrifying, isn't it? Kaylee Ray's laughing. Io is loving, smashing the stuff up. Here's Zoe Stark. Io says, I like her. Kaylee Ray says, we're going to have some fun. Dusty? Dusty? I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to see Dusty Rhodes just pop up on the screen. Wow, I care about this match now. I didn't really before, but I do now. Because Dusty's told me to. MSK versus... not MSK. Creeds. Dusty. Funky like a monkey. Days, to my knowledge, Cody is the only ever to be in WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, and New Japan. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I honestly couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking like a Lance Archer. Or something like that, but I really... Quinn McKay said debuts in WWE's The Ring Announcer. This has become must-see for me, and I hope we get to see her wrestle. She's great, isn't she? I remember you talking about her before, Jim. And being a big fan of hers, so it's exciting news. I really like her as well. I really like her. Dave, say this in Vince's voice. I don't know if I can. Cody! I can't do it. God damn, we need to boost ratings. We want you. But what can elevate the ratings? That one bit higher. God damn, I've got it. Stardust. He doesn't sound like that anymore. Oh dear. What can elevate the ratings? I've got it. Stardust. God damn. Mumble's done it now. Oh, Mumbling McMahon. Mumbling McMahon. Yes. I like the creeds, and MSK says, can I say I'm really comfortable? I'm just kind of like leaning back. If I do start going missing, it's because I'm just quite comfortable. I've never really got into this position before, but I'm loving it. It's a whole new world for me, this is. James said, I love Quinn McKay. She's awesome. I love Quinn McKay. She's awesome. Oh, Jim, I love her as well. Get your own opinion. Mark said, Day's dream release. WWE has come to terms of the release of Lily. We wish her all the... I don't. I wish her all the best in the shredder. It's your fault. It's your fault. You lot are flipping buying this stuff. You do it to yourselves. I ain't bought it. The crowd on Friday is going to be chanting, "We want Stardust. We want Stardust." I tell you, the crowd might chant AEW. They might chant AEW. That's going to be a bit of a problem. AEW, AEW, AEW. Do you think anyone ever is going to chant "We want Brandi"? Ever? I say no. Right, we are underway with MSK. We're running out of time. Oh, there's the overrun. The overrun, guys. Stop forgetting about the overrun. What the heck are Creeds wearing? This is horrible. It is horrible. White with blue diamonds all over it. They had a nice... it was just like a black singlet. I think was it last week. Looked nice. Strikes to the midsection. Kicks coming in. We want Stardust. That couch is going to eat you. Lucky couch. Trent said, Days, will Cody show up soon since there is no compete clause? And will WWE be allowed to use the American Nightmare name? I would imagine the American Nightmare name is going to be Cody's trademark. So they can use it if they want to and Cody allows them. I don't know that they will because they'll want their own trademarks. So, I don't know. I don't know what they'll go with. You can't really change his name now, can you? So, I think he will be Cody. Wesley just kind of planted himself. That seemed a little bit botchy, to be honest. Up on the shoulders of... I hope the Creeds win this. I like the Creeds. I really like the Creeds. Against the ropes. Ooh. Shoulder charge into Wesley, and Wesley goes crashing into the commentary table. This is the final of the Dusty Classic. I was watching some earlier, and Vince was talking about Triple H and the dead person. He said, when you see a man having fun with a dead body, any good man will admit that's good comedy. When you see... Did he say that? When did he say that? Because he also came out during Triple H's 25-year anniversary show during the pandemic. And do you remember he mumbled like Katie Vick? Katie Vick, what was that? And he kind of buried it. And he was... I thought that was good, actually. Him kind of admitting that was a bad segment. So, I don't know. He's a weird, pervy old man, isn't he? If you dated Tamina, she could teach you how to frog splash. I could teach her. It'd be really good for her, wouldn't it? I could teach her how to frog splash. The crowd will be singing, "We Need Brandi." If he does, they will not, Dave. They won't. Listen, the fans do some stuff that I do not understand, yeah? The fans bought Lily and have kept Lily around, right? I don't get it, but they've done it. I wouldn't even think. I don't even think I'm the same species as anyone that's going to go to a wrestling show and chant. Even if you was doing it ironically, surely you'd have more pride for yourself. Like, that can't happen. That won't happen. Blaze said, I want Brandi. Just don't start. Have you got any idea what the Mandalorian is? Yes. It is a little orange. I don't know. No, it's a Star Wars show in it. It's got Sasha in. I don't know. I don't know what the Mandalorian is. But it's I know it's a show. A show I've never seen. Quinn McKay's WWE name is Kelly Kincaid. At least it sounds like her actual name. An actual name someone would have. Kelly Kincaid. I don't mind Kelly. I wish it was Kelly McKay. Not Kelly Kincaid. Or Quinn Kincaid. I don't like the Kincaid bit. Don't like that. Kincaid. It's a bit it's like kinky. Kinky. It's like an arcade of kinkiness. It's like a kinky arcade. She's basically Kelly Kinky Arcade. I'm sold, to be honest. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm on board. Kelly Kinky Arcade. Kelly Kincaid. Yeah. Yeah, scrap it. I'm on board. What would you do if Cody's Smoke and Mirrors or even Stardust theme played at the end of Roman's match? Brandi walked out and attacked Brandi attacks Roman. I would lol. That's what I would do. If Brandi attacks Roman, I would lol. Stardust is dead and buried. Fact of the stream, Bobby Roode has one of the best spine busters in the business. That is a fact. Blaze Radio said, well, if no one else wants her, I'll take Brandi off your hands. I would really appreciate that. There's a very real risk that we're going to be subjected to her in WWE. One of my favourite parts of AEW was watching her walk out and the crowd boo her and watching people's reaction to her doing whatever awful thing she was doing. And that's gone now. I also loved Cody trying desperately to not be a heel. I mean, he has now gone to the length. He is so desperate to not be a heel, he's actually left the promotion. That is pretty extreme. I'm not watching NXT 2.0. Instead, I'm going to watch the Olympics. Okay. Next Dan Lambert promo. Yeah, there'll be some reference to it, won't there? I reckon when Cody's name gets mentioned, there's going to be boos, isn't there? They are going to feel cheated in the AEW universe. Should Cody be the one to retire Orton? Oh. The only problem is Orton's, 42 or something? Says that he wants to carry on till he's 50. So, I mean, I love the story, but I don't think Orton's ready yet. So, where's... On the outside, pushes Nash Carter. New power couple, Stardust and Lily. Who does Paige Van Zandt feud with now? Wow, it's going to have to be the Brandi replacement that is Red Velvet. It's going to have to be Red Velvet, isn't it? She was seemingly in a relationship with Cody. Do you remember when Brandi was out, they went and got Red Velvet? 1, 2, kick out. The Kinky Arcade is coming, so is Veer. Veer is coming. They deserve it for booing him and Brandi. At least if Brandi returns to WWE, she might be a ring announcer or a backstage interviewer, so at least no Brandi wrestling. Cheesewiz said, I'm watching TV. I just thought I'd tell you. Thanks, bud. Right, we've got 25 minutes and then a little overrun. Into the corner goes Nash Carter. Dumped out the ring. Day's Super Bowl took place on Sunday, February 13th. Did you watch the game? Did watch along. Who was your pick between LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals? I picked LA Rams. I loved that stream. I loved it. I loved it. I had so much fun. I had so much fun on that stream. I was honestly thinking, like, how do I do the not only next year's, but like the AFC and the NFC finals, and like what could I commit to doing? Because I flipping loved it. It was really, really good. Great sport as well. Really great sport. I must admit, I mean, I have watched the Super Bowl. When I used to watch the Super Bowl, I've watched it a few times. Mainly for the halftime show. But I've watched it a few times, and I've never really understood what the flipper was going on. I feel like last year I probably did, but then I've forgotten again. But I watched a video this year about what... I don't even know what that was. 2 people just fell over outside the ring. I feel like there's a lot of silly-looking spots in NXT tonight. Rather than just having a good match, they've taken a leaf out of AEW's book and they're just going a little bit far. Creeds have won. Whatever happened on the outside of the ring, he throws him back in, and the Creeds win. It's the right winners. Oh my god! I can't believe it. Look at Bivens. He can't believe it. I love that. I love that. Look at that. Look at the reaction from Bivens. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Bivens really putting over. Look at him. Yeah, he's about to cry. That's great. That's great. This is my favorite part of tonight. My favorite part of tonight is Creed's winning and Bivens really putting over what it means. Great. Yeah, in regards to the Super Bowl, I really enjoyed it, and I understood it. Like, you know, you get 4 attempts to try and move 10 yards. If you do the 10 yards, get another 4 attempts. Obviously, you're trying to get a touchdown. If you can't, then goal kick, field goal kind of thing. And I was like, I mean, there's lots that I wouldn't understand. You know, I'm sure there's lots of little rules and whatnot, but it was good. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Worst winners. It should have been Malcolm Bivens winning. Bivens has won. Look at him. They're in the crowds, holding up the trophy. Look, he looks like he's going to cry. It's great. Great tag team as well, these guys. I really like them. Confetti raining down. Is there another tag team with a manager? Because they're a good package. Who's her dad? I mean, she's talking about being on the road, but who is her dad? I really don't like this woman. She's got to be coming in as a heel. She's a bit unfocused, this woman. She's like, I'm a rapper, I'm a dancer, I'm an MMA fighter. Nikita Lyons debuts next week. Let's see what she's like. Oh. Gunter! Gunter! Yes. Yes, King. Yes, King. The King's here. Yeah. Gunter! Gunter. It's Gunter. They're still chanting Walter. Show some respect. Show some respect. If he wants to call himself Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, then that's what we call him. I would like to see Christopher Daniels versus AJ. She is bad. Cesaro should join Imperium. I have the potential greatest tag team ever. Cody announces Veer is coming. Veer is coming. And he's not Cody, he's Stardust. And then we get a Veer and Stardust tag team. I mean, sounds amazing. Poor guy will never be received as Gunter. It's time that I set eyes on championship gold. Tonight, I'll be watching Bron Breakker and Santos Escobar. He's lost weight, isn't he? He really lost weight. His face looks really thin. Here's Solo Sikoa. How's his face? His face has healed. Do you remember that wound that fell off mid-match? Lol. Silly Oos. This ain't your fight, Oos. This ain't your fight. I don't care. I don't give a damn about that, Matt. Is this the face? The face is coming out saying, I don't care about the mat. And I'm meant to cheer him. End this clown, Gunter. End this clown. If I was Gunter, I'd be like, oh, look, the clown's here. He's even wearing red shoes. Because he is. Uso chants. Days, I'll be very excited if my favorite NFL team, the Chicago Bears, go to the Super Bowl. Who is your favorite NFL team? I don't have one. I am new to the world of American football. I might lean the Miami Dolphins because of Ace Ventura. Here is Dolph wearing a Toxic Attraction t-shirt. He's a big fan of Toxic Attraction. Ziggler's wearing the Mandy shirt. Uso versus Gunter will be hard hitting. People keep saying Veer is coming, but is he actually coming? Actually. Does NXT even manufacture new tag titles anymore? Because I remember Triple H used to churn out a lot of great tag teams. New tag teams anymore. Yeah, well, Creed Brothers. They're trying to get over that Brooks and Jensen. They obviously had MSK sign. There's no DIY or FTR. Creeds are probably the closest to FTR. That title match is next, and you better believe I'm going to be watching closely. Legado del Fantasma. That's like an LWO thing, isn't it? How long have they been using that? They've probably been using it forever. I've only just noticed. Is that new? The LDF logo. It's the Latino World Order thing from WCW. I think that's new. Yes, Resident Alien, come on! Come on! Available now on Peacock. Gunter. It's time for your main event. Robin says, nice poncho. I bet you say that to all the boys, don't you, mate? Bet you say that to all the boys. Nice punch. Nice poncho, mister. Veer is knackered. Oh, James. Someone's been hanging out with William Hensey too much. Hammer said, I'm very disappointed with the commercials. I thought we were going to get some good movie trailers. Vin said, Resident what? Don't care. I must admit, I watched the commercials. There wasn't many that I thought was that great. Wasn't many that I thought was like, I don't know. There's some alright ones. They're alright. Dr. Evil one was alright. The guy getting tackled, the Pete Davidson one where he gets tackled and he's like, I get it, I'm hittable. It's alright. Zendaya one was alright. I mean, it wasn't funny, but it was, you know, it was alright. The Pringles one where he gets the Pringles can on his hand and he dies with it still on his hand, and then at the funeral one of the other family members puts their hand in a Pringles can and then they've got it stuck. It was alright. I didn't feel like there was any that like really made me go, oh, that's amazing, that's brilliant. Just hard in this day and age to do that though, isn't it? Very hard in this day and age. Imagine Imperium destroy Solo Sikoa and then the Usos come to the rescue and then we get Imperium versus Usos. Oh, God, this is honestly about the 5th time I've seen this Zendaya commercial. They are hammering it. They are absolutely hammering this commercial for Squarespace. Schwarzenegger as Zeus didn't do it for you. Not really, to be honest. I saw that one where like people needed power, and he like was just giving them power. No, not really. I didn't think it was like that funny. Days I've got a way WWE can put AEW out of business with immediate effect. Via arrives at Raw. That'll do it. Zendaya, I hear. I would let her toe true me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what toe truing is. Is that like a game of truth or dare or something? The only commercial I really liked was the Pringles one, but I still wasn't what I was hoping for. Electric Avenue. We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue. Gunther versus Roman. Alexa reading Scarlett's mind was funny. Yeah, that might be the funniest one. Zendaya who? Do you like oranges? Sure. I don't really ever have them, but sure. Mae Young's hand is better than Lily. Oh my God, they should sell them. If they started selling Mae Young's hand, I would totally get behind that. If they started selling Mae Young's hand, I wonder if we could get that to like be the bestseller and like replace Lily. I'd buy one. I'd buy 2. Yeah, definitely. I would buy 2 and then I'd try to recreate the birth. Imagine that YouTube video. Woo! Try and get that image out your head. Do you think AEW could mention about Cody leaving on tomorrow's episodes? No. Not unless they're bringing him in. Well, hang on. Could AEW mention Cody's leaving? I don't know. I don't know if they would. There might be something they mention in passing where it comes up in conversation. They're like, well, I would just like to take the opportunity to wish him all the very best in the future. But I don't know. I don't know why you would mention it or how it would come up, to be honest. Here's Pete. Congrats, mates. Still North American champion? For now. Congrats, mate. You're still North American champion? For now. For now, Bab. Oh, yeah, that's the women one. Yeah, have this cup. Have this cup. LA Knight against Grayson Waller. A rubber hand on WWE Shop. As long as it's not the fist, they should be okay. I might make a video for the WEP for Nolene and Patrick. It might have singing. It might not. It depends how I feel. Do it. If you want to send videos to Patrick and Nolene, do it. If you want to send your congrats, then we'll play those. It is a wedding special on the Wrestling Escape Pod next week. Shut up, mate. We've got Electra Lopez. We've got Santos Escobar is here. Here is Bron. What has he done that for? He's lit a sign on fire. I mean, that is a health and safety violation. I don't get it. Here's Bron. Will you be streaming Olympics? Yes. You can only save one via Linda or Mr. I'm feeling romantic. Mr. who? Mr. McMahon. I don't care about saving via. Because I can still do the thing saying he's coming soon. He'll just never actually arrive. So I don't care about saving via. I don't know who my other choices were. Do you think tonight's show was above or below expectation? Sadly, below for me. Maybe it's a bit unfair. This was a big card, and my expectations were, I suppose, higher than usual. So maybe a bit unfair. But I think first match didn't really grab me. The tag match both the tag matches I thought were all right. Cameron Grimes match I thought was very good, and I'm sure this is going to be really good. I would say it's not been too bad. I don't think it has not exceeded expectation. But it's been all right. Bron Breakker just committed arson. He did. Jilly said, I'm going to join the Olympic stream. Last night I couldn't keep my eyes open. Well, I honestly don't know what we've got, to be honest. But, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be fun. We always tend to watch some interesting stuff, have a little chit-chat. I'm sure the Cody conversation is going to rumble on. They are dragging Via out as bad as WCW did with Glacier's debut. Roy says NXT 1 out of 10. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what scores people give NXT. Days, you do respond when I should say if Via arrives, you can't say any more, seeing as it would have already happened. I don't understand. You do response when it should say if Via arrives. I don't get it. Too long. I can only deal in short sentences. Certainly when I'm distracted by Bron Breakker's ring gear, where he's come dressed as a tiger. Maybe he's a lion. Don't think lions have. Maybe he is a lion. King of the jungle. It's interesting, and it's a bit Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam. They gave Bron a Cody entrance. Oh my god, yeah. The one thing no one's talking about is who's going to come out the middle now in AEW. The mechanism that raises up that center thing so that Cody can come out. That's been future endeavored. Who's going to come out the middle in AEW now? That's who I feel sorry for. The person that has to pull the winder thing to raise that. He don't need him anymore. Wish him all the best in his future endeavours. Bron Breakker is a Bengals fan. Aren't we all? Is this going to be an overrun? There's always an overrun. Tight as a tiger. I wish when he got in the ring, he went... Raw. Drop kick by Santos. Days when Veer, or should I say if Veer arrives, you can't say he's coming because he won't be coming. He's already going to be there. That is correct. I agree with that. The House of Black should come out the middle of AEW. That would be good. Walking around, delayed standing vertical suplex. Boom. Give the lift to Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill coming out the middle. That'd make her feel big. That'd be big time. She'd be big time Cargill. I stand Courtney. Walk like an Egyptian. Duck underneath by Bron against the ropes. Over the top goes Santos. Clothesline, Santos goes down. Saudi and UFC on Saturday. Big weekend. Big weekend. Did Tommaso face Dolph Ziggler tonight? No. Have they announced that match? Is it next week? It's coming. It must be coming. It's like Veer. I think Cody should go to NWA. What do you think? They ain't got enough money for Cody. And they don't get enough views. Hook could come out the middle. Give the lift to Wyndham. Forearm to the back of the head. They could just have all the champions coming out the middle. Oh, I like that. That's actually quite a good use for it. If you're a champion, then you get to come out the middle. And then maybe Hangman could be like, I don't want to do that. Hangman's kind of a man of the people. So he comes just out the tunnel. But like all the other champions come out the middle. That'd be good. Challengers coming down the side. But if you're a champion, you get like a proper entrance. You're made to look like a big deal. Yeah, I like that. I'm not worried at all. Next week, NXT 2.0 is on Tuesday. On USA, believe me. I believe you. Cody to CZ Dub is not confirmed. Cody buys Ring of Honor. It wouldn't be wise to go up against Tony Khan, would it? Cody hasn't got Khan. He's not got Khan money. Shoulder up by Bron Breakker. Are you crazy? Why would Cody pick Ring of Honor and not WWE? I thought Cody was a former NWA World Champion. He is, but that was before AEW. And that was when he was like traveling around the world. So he was wrestling for lots of different promotions. And including New Japan. And he was doing a lot of indie shows. And he was kind of trying to carve a life out for himself. But now that AEW has been a thing, like, I can't see Cody going back to that life. I can't see Cody going back to New Japan, indie shows, NWA. I kind of feel like he's done that. And to go back to that would be maybe a step backwards. I don't see him doing that. It would be a lot of traveling for him to go to the different shows and go to, do you know what I mean? Go different places. You'd be doing a show here, a show there, going over to Japan, going to England. I think he's done that. I kind of feel like him and Brandi now, they've got a kid. I feel like they may be a bit more settled. So I can't see it happening. Him just going to NWA, no way. Can't afford it, as I said. Him going to NWA as well as New Japan, as well as England, as well as MLW, Beyond, Bar Wrestling, whoever, whatever. He could do that. I'm sure he'd make a good living from that. But that's a lot of work. It's a lot of traveling, and he's done it. So I don't think he's got many options, to be honest. He's got options, but I don't think he's got many logistical real ones. If the number 2 promotion in North America you've just left, really the only place you can go is either number 1 or number 3. So that's WWE or Impact. And he ain't going Impact. This is a rubbish move. Escobar was twisting Bron Breakker and just, like, making him uncomfortable. Like, I didn't really get, what is that thing that he's smashing his head into as well? What is that thing? There's, like, little pads on the ring posts, but I don't know why they're there. I have no idea what those are. On the ring, where you've got the posts, there's like little pads on the outside that I've never seen before. And Escobar was just slamming Bron Breakker's head into one. Ciampa Dolph was announced for next week, says James. Thank you. Kacy, I'm doing well. I hope you are well. When I put on NWA, it's not for the wrestling. I put it on to listen to Velvet Sky. The Beautiful People were my favourite women's tag team. Tony might be sending Cody to destroy WWE like Vince sent Hogan to destroy Impact, says channel name. Well, if I'm Vince, I am considering that. And so one way round it would be to tie Cody down to a very long contract. I would not be signing Cody for a year or 2 years. Here's an 8-year, 10-year contract. If he's going to destroy it from the inside, then it's not something he's going to be able to do and then get out of there. You're sticking around. And, I'd be watching him. I would be very cautious about watching Cody, and that is a possibility. Going in and causing a bit of disruption inside, like a Trojan horse kind of a thing. It's a possibility. It's a possibility just as much as this is all one big work is a possibility, but I would say it's probably not likely. Santos telling Bron it's my time. He goes to throw a big right hand, and Bron Breakker catches that hand. Do you remember who won between Cameron Grimes and Carmelo? It was Carmelo. I saw a tweet about the NXT ring saying Level Up. It's a new show that's replaced 205 Live, which we think is, I don't know who's on it. We know Quinn McKay's on it. Kinky Arcade is there, but we don't know what talent's on it. Hogan did a rubbish job because Impact is still standing and never better, says James. I thought he got Nightmare Factory, says Roy. What do you mean? Dolph jumps in the ring and delivers a big super kick to Bron. 1, 2. Kick out by Bron Breakker. Dolph screams no. Wow. Dolph jumps in and delivers a super kick. Dolph's going crazy. That was a nice moment. Ciampa. Tommaso. Yes. Great way to end the show. Tommaso grabbing Ziggler, dealing with Ziggler. Bron surviving that super kick. Yeah, he's in trouble here, Bron. He did get DDT'd. Santos Escobar, he's going to go up top. Santos Escobar. Oh, Bron moves. He's got Bron up on his shoulders. Bron is battling back. Bron, big spear. And now he's absolutely fine. Dunno, man. Looks like Selin is dead. Looks like young Bron Breakker has abandoned the notion of selling. Nah, fam. Nah. Must do better. That's my report card. Ziggler is underused on the main roster. What do you think is more likely? Cody walks out as Stardust in NXT, or Via doesn't get lost and comes out next week? Via is more likely. That was just like Hook no selling the pile driver. That ending brought the show for a 3.16 to a 4.20. That was good with Tommaso and Ziggler. That was good. And the match itself was all right. There's a few moments in there. I didn't really get a couple of spots like on the outside where Escobar was like trying to twist Bron Breakker. It didn't seem like it was hurting him. It just seemed like it was making him uncomfortable. And then like complete no-selling at the end. What are they teaching them? Ziggler got a full beard. Level Up debuts on Friday. Friday. Coming on down, it's Friday. Party and yeah. Party and yeah. Future O-Dub said Santos has got a lot more charisma. I can imagine the heel heat. Roy said, I thought Cody had his own wrestling academy. I don't know. I feel like he's like a co-owner maybe with QT Marshall. But that doesn't really change anything. Right. Ending got booed. They might, I don't know if they were booing or if they were like, you know, like what, like doing the dog-faced gremlin stuff. No, not who wins. What did you, oh Jesus. What did you score WWE NXT? What did you score it, eh? What did you think? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Eh? Did you? Eh? Come on. 2-7. 6.75 to 6. 5.75 to, or below. There we go. Below. If you know, then you know. Bron turning more into his uncle than his dad's. This is random. What's your favourite food? I mean, I don't know. I like a nice pizza, a nice kebab. Love, maybe that. Maybe kebab meat in a, maybe a kebab. You have kebabs in America, don't you? Do you have kebab? You have kebabs. You must do. I don't know if they're a big deal in America. To be honest, I don't know. Doner kebab. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Doner kebab and meat and chips. Oh, now we're talking. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm trying to find a good example of one. There's a lot of pictures. Something like that'll do. That'll give you the idea. It'll give you an idea. Doner kebab. We've had 77 votes. Get your votes in. Look at that. So you've got a nice like wrap inside a bread, like a naan bread type thing. So it's inside that. Then you've got, look at this, delicious meat, full of fat, just dripping with flavor and fat. Little bit of salad, bit of mayonnaise, bit of chili sauce in there, some chips on the side. Oh yeah, that might be my favorite. That's what I have. If I go fish and chip shop, I am English. If I go in fish and chip shop, I have that. Don't have fish and chips. Not a weirdo. Steak kebab, chicken kebab. Yes, we do. Yes, we've got kebabs. Kebab. Oh, what? Kebab. What's a kebab? What the hell is a kebab? We have kebabs. Kebabs. Kebab. 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 We call it kebab. Kebab. You call it, what do you call it? Kebab. They're a bit different. They're on skewers. So looking at a kebab, that's on a skewer. It's meat that's kind of skewered. Yeah, those. Hammer said that actually looks delicious. A kebab. Hang on, let me go. If you go out in England, right? We're going off on a little tangent. If you go out in England and you go to like a pub and maybe you leave at like 12 at night, or maybe you go to a club and you leave the club at like 3 in the morning, the local fish and chip shops will be open. Certainly the ones that are anywhere near a club, they will be open. They will be open, and you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to get a kebab and chips and whatever in, like, you know, a thing. That is what they look like. I don't know. So again, this is, if you go inside an English fish and chip place, every English fish and chip place should have one of these. So behind the counter, they'll have that. I don't know if you have that in America, but what they do is that rotates. It cooks the meat, and then they use that big knife to like cut strips off. And then that's it. You can see at the bottom there in the pan. That is the meat. That's what goes inside like a naan bread. And then they put like the sauce on and everything. But like this is everywhere. You can get this all over the UK. I mean, we've got our local fish and chip shop down the road. They do obviously fish and chips. You could get like pizza. They probably do like some fried chicken, but they specialize in fish and chips. Maybe a sausage and chips, something like that. But they have got like the kebab thing behind the counter as well. Many times I've gone to a club, been absolutely smashed off my face, and then I'll go to a place, a fish and chip shop like that, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, all right, mate, I'm gonna get a doner kebab and chips, please, bud. And then they give it you, and you have it in the little polystyrene thing, and many a night, people passed out on the sidewalks with just doner kebabs in their hands, just like. That's an image of England that might not have been presented to the world, but it's very much an image of England. Gyro. We don't call them gyros, but I have heard that before. But we don't call them that. Gyro. That's the thing that old people pick up when it's time to get their money. That's the gyro. But yeah, I have seen it called a gyro when I've gone to foreign countries, but I've never ever seen one in America, to be honest. So that's interesting. They're called gyros. Very interesting. Very interesting. I've never had one. Oh, gyro, hero, gyro, gyro. I've never had one in America. I'd love to try an American one. I don't know if you lot can go to clubs and then pick one of them up after, but that is really a absolute Friday, Saturday night staple. Like, it could not be more of part of, like, it's as much a part of going out to a club in the UK as the music is. Like, it just absolutely is. You know, that is what people do. They go to clubs and then they'll go to a place like that on the way home, or, you know, some people might have fish and chips after. Some people might, or a sausage and chips, but it's all about the kebabs, mate. It's all about the gyros. So, right, let's end this because we have gone really off on a tangent. We have. Master Chief said, my wife is from Palestine, so I eat that stuff a lot. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Greek. That is where it comes from. Right, I don't know what I would score this show. It's such a weird one. I mean, it's not a bad show, but there's definitely moments in it where you're like, what are they doing? Like, there's definitely moments in matches you go, I mean, 7-5 to 7, 10 to 8. Seems like people enjoyed it. Real mixed bag, though. I mean, like, you know, 10 to 8 got 28%. 6.75 to 6 got 25. I think that I'm gonna be a bit harsh, I think. Shall I be harsh? How does this compare to Raw? Raw had that great gauntlet match. How does this compare to Raw? How does it compare to Raw? Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say Raw was 6.75. I'm going to say this was a 7. There we go. I wasn't that harsh in the end. Lots of things that I would love to tweak, but in all fairness, there's not really anything massive here. First match, I wasn't really crazy about it, but there was still some nice moments. The other matches, I think, delivered, to be honest. The other matches, I think, really delivered. I'd say my least favourite was the first match, and then I think all the others were quite good. But, you know, it's little stuff like Bron Breakker not selling that I thought was disappointing. The end of the tag match seemed clunky to me, where the two guys sort of fell over on the outside. He chucks the other one in, and then we get a pin. But I did love Malcolm Bivens' emotion, you know? So, yeah, look, there's stuff here that niggles. But I suppose if you take into account this is NXT and a lot of these are new, young talents, then I'll say, you know, I'll say 7. I don't feel brilliant about it, but I'll give it a 7. Right, we're done. I really want to get something to eat, certainly after we've been talking about that food, so I might just push the next stream back a little bit. I don't know when the Winter Olympics is meant to start. I might schedule it for past, and then just quickly try and grab something to eat. So I woke up 10 minutes before I did the football stream, so I haven't eaten. So I'm going to try and quickly grab something. So I'll aim for a past start, and then we'll begin our Winter Olympics coverage for, I don't know, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. So we'll do that. And then tomorrow we've got AEW and we've got Champions League football and a little bit more Winter Olympics. So it's all happening. So awesome. Appreciate it. Hope you had fun. And hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.